Every guy in school had been heartlessly rejected by the campus belle until I walked into the crowd with my tattered fertilizer bag. The onlookers gasped, thinking I was some tactical mastermind about to kidnap her. Little did they know, all I wanted was the empty water bottle in her hand. Why? Because I'm a traveler bound to a scavenger system. It told me, collect trash this week, fly a private jet next week. So there I was at the crack of dawn, hauling my bag and hunting for loot. Just as I was about to ask for the bottle, the goddess herself, Ye Ching Shui, spoke first. I don't like you. I shot back instantly. I don't like you either. For the first time in her life, someone told her they weren't interested. She found it amusing and asked what I was up to. I replied, I just wanted to know if you're finished with that water. If you are, can I have the bottle? Ye Ching Shui was stunned into silence. The crowd erupted. This guy is actually scouting for recyclables from the school bell? That's legendary. The balls on this guy, everyone laughed, and even Ye Ching Shui cracked a smile. She finished the water in one go and handed me the bottle. I took it, dropped it, and crushed it with my foot before stuffing it into my bag. One smooth motion. All the simps in the crowd watched with gritted teeth. To them, that bottle was a sacred relic, and I was treating it like common trash. But then, the system notification chimed in my head. Beauty's water bottle collected. Reward 2,000 yuan cashback. That sweet notification sound made my day, and a bright smile spread across my face. It's true, making money is way more practical than chasing romance. I turned to leave without a second thought. Yet Ching Shui was bewildered. He's just leaving? This isn't how the script is supposed to go. Suddenly she called out, Hey, wait. I looked back. What now? As she walked toward me, dozens of students pulled out their phones to record. She asked, Are you a student here at Akun University? Yeah, I replied. Then why are you collecting trash? I put on a solemn face and said, Because the environment is deteriorating. I want to do my part for the planet. Ye Ching Shui narrowed her eyes. Tell the truth. I sighed. Fine, I want to sell it for cash. The crowd went wild. I knew it. This broke guy is just using a weird gimmick to hit on her. He's trying to fly high on a cow's back, pure nonsense. Ye Ching Shui froze for a moment before saying, Wait here for a few minutes. I'm going up to my dorm and I'll be right back down. I was confused. Wait for you? Give me one good reason. Ye Ching Shui felt a pang of frustration. This guy really wasn't like other men. I have some scrap cardboard boxes in my room, she explained. You can have them for free. I nodded. Well, you're actually a pretty good person. Fine, I'll wait. She turned and headed upstairs, her long legs catching everyone's attention. Immediately, the crowd began to gossip. No one expected a kid with a fertilizer bag to actually catch the goddess's interest. Is this some kind of reverse psychology? Is she tired of rich guys and into losers now? A loser? That's me. Does this mean I'm only one sack away from the goddess? Brothers, I'm going back to the dorm to grab a bag. Just seconds later, Ye Ching Shui returned to the balcony. The boxes are too heavy, she called out. Come upstairs with me. I've already cleared it with the dorm manager. I hesitated. Give me a minute to think about it. Fine, I'll wait, she replied. She caught herself. This was the first time she had ever waited for a man. The crowd was fuming. He's making the goddess wait for a minute? This guy is insane. I really want to go up there and punch him. During that minute, the system chimed again. The school bell's household waste can be exchanged for 1000x cash back. My heart soared. Farming the school bell for loot was definitely the way to go. I looked at her and smiled. Deal. Lead the way. Under the stunned gazes of every male student, I was led into the girls' dormitory. The guys outside looked absolutely sick with envy. He actually got in? I've smoked 2 packs of cigarettes out here and I still can't figure out how he did it. I followed Ye Ching Shui inside the building. Along the way, I passed by plenty of beautiful girls who looked at me with pure shock. The gossip mill started immediately. Wait, what's happening? Did Ye Ching Shui get a boyfriend? This is huge news, and he looks like a total beggar. Her taste is unique. I climbed all the way to the 6th floor and was a bit out of breath. Seeing me panting, Ye Ching Shui couldn't help but tease, Can you handle it, or are you just weak? I immediately straightened my back. I'm carrying a heavy load here, okay? I've got the bag. She laughed. Fine, fine. Just wait right here. I'll go grab the boxes for you. I was surprised. I'm not coming inside, she smirked. You want to enter our room? In your dreams. I nodded knowingly. I get it. Your room must be a total mess. I understand. I'll wait. This hit a nerve. What do you mean by that? You think girls' dorms are all dirty and disorganized? Just a guess, I said. If I offended you, well, I guess I offended you. Ye Ching Shui was fuming. You can't just make assumptions without evidence. Fine, come in. I'll give you a tour of my place. But now, I was the one refusing. No thanks. It's impolite. Ye Ching Shui frowned. You're coming in. If you don't, I'll write a 5,000-word essay about you. I muttered. You're a real piece of work. Lady, I'm not going. Not a chance. The more I resisted, the more determined she became. Finally, she practically dragged me into her dorm room. The girls in the hallway were frozen in disbelief. I eventually gave in. After all, I couldn't exactly go against a lady's wishes, could I? I stepped into her luxurious dorm, and the scent hit me immediately, a mix of expensive cosmetics, perfume, and body wash. It smelled incredible. There were 4 girls living there, all of them stunning with long legs and fair skin. Ye Qingxue looked at me proudly. Well, what do you think of our room? I nodded in approval. It's big and very fair. She caught my wandering eyes and said coldly, what exactly are you looking at? I turned calmly and pointed at her bed. Is that a ukulele on your headboard? Yeah, so what? Nothing. I know how to play. Can I try? No, but you can try this instead. She reached over and pulled out an exquisite guitar. My eyes fixed on it as her roommates watched in total shock. Schwer, that's your favorite guitar. How can you just let a stranger touch it? When I asked to borrow it, you wouldn't even let me look at it. I'm officially mad. Ye Qingxue smiled slightly. I'm just teasing him. There's no way he actually knows how to play. But I just looked at her and said I do. That piqued her interest. Fine, but if you're bad, I'm going to hit you. I countered. And if I'm good? Ye Qingxue flashed a charming smile. If you're good, I'll let my beautiful roommate give you a kiss. The roommate was horrified. Holy crap, Ye Qingxue. You're actually selling me out? She was convinced I'd fail, but I took the guitar, ready to show off a bit of Sunny Day. Back in my old world, I used to play this all the time. The girls thought I was just some amateur. But as soon as the first chord rang out, they realized this wasn't going to be a simple performance. Within minutes, Ye Qingxue was floored. Her roommate was listening as if in a trance, while simultaneously panicking. Oh no, my first kiss is actually in danger. As I reached the climax of the song, the emotion filled the room. The melody lingered, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. Ye Qingxue was visibly moved. She asked breathlessly, where did you learn to play like that? Are you a music major? I simply replied, not telling. She immediately got huffy. Why are you being so mysterious? Just tell me. I ignored her and turned to her beautiful roommate. So, which one do I get to kiss? Ye Qingxue laughed. Take your pick. The roommate panicked. No way. If anyone's kissing him, it should be you, Ye Qingxue said confidently. Relax. He won't do it. He's all talk. Men like him are just straight-laced cowards. She clearly didn't know me. I walked right up to the roommate, thinking I should pick the one without makeup so I wouldn't get a mouthful of powder. But as I leaned in, she turned pale. Stop, no way. Ye Qingxue quickly grabbed me. You were actually going to do it? I sighed. Fine, forget it. No fun at all. Ye Qingxue suddenly felt like she couldn't get a handle on this guy. I glanced at the trash cans near her desk. Are all 3 of these for trash? She nodded. White is for recyclables, black is for hazardous waste. And the pink one? She hesitated. That's private waste. I pointed at the pink bin. Wait, why is there a pair of silk stockings in there? I leaned down, and Ye Qingxue, thinking I was reaching for them, screamed, Don't touch those, but I was just tying my shoelace. She let out a long breath of relief. Fine, let's go downstairs. I said seriously, just a tip. When you throw away a girl's private trash, use a black bag. Otherwise, you're just inviting creeps to dig through it. Ye Qingxue immediately crossed her arms. Wait, are you that creep? I got annoyed instantly and turned to leave. My cool departure actually made her heart flutter for a second. She grabbed my arm. I was joking. Why are you so sensitive? I kept walking, trying to shake her off, but she held on tight. She looked at her roommates for help. Don't just stand there, help me. The roommate laughed. Schwer, you hurt his pride. Apologize. Ye Qingxue scrambled. Okay, I'm sorry. Happy now? I kept my head down and headed for the door. Finally, Ye Qingxue snapped, Hey, do you want these cardboard boxes or not? I stopped dead. Crap, I almost forgot the actual mission. I calmed down and turned back coldly. You hurt me and you think you can just laugh it off? I really didn't mean it. It was just a joke. I told her not to do it again, and she nodded quickly. Then, her roommate stepped in with a legendary assist, grabbing the trash bag and stuffing it right into my fertilizer bag. Ye Qingxue glared at her. Are you crazy? My stuff is in there, the roommate just giggled. Consider it compensation for hurting his feelings. I chimed in, now this long-legged sister is reasonable. The roommate then pulled out her phone. Hey, handsome, want to add me on WeChat? Before I could answer, Ye Qingxue exploded. Get out, both of you. Out. First you pull me back, now you're kicking me out? Make up your mind, lady, Ye Qingxue snapped. Oh, so now you have a temper? I grabbed the boxes. For the sake of the cardboard, I'll let it slide. We carried the boxes down together. After we left, the other girls started gossiping like crazy. I've never seen Schwer so emotional. Did you see her face when I asked for his WeChat? She was totally jealous. No way. I still can't believe it. We have to grill her when she gets back. A minute later, I walked out of the dorm with Ye Qingxue. A massive crowd was waiting outside, all drawn by the legend of the fertilizer bag god. Everyone wanted to witness the underdog's victory. As we appeared, a wave of noise hit us. He's back. He's back. He's actually carrying a sack next to the goddess. Did something really happen up there? He was in there for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? I counted 1,230 seconds. Suddenly, a girl burst through the crowd, fuming. Lin Yu, what the hell are you doing? This unexpected third party caught me off guard. Who are you, lady? Lin Yu Yan looked like she was about to cry. You're calling me lady. You used to call me your little fairy. The boys who had failed were stunned. I had walked into the crowd as a joke, a guy with a plastic bag. The onlookers thought I was a master about to kidnap the belle, but they didn't know I just wanted her water bottle. I'm a traveler with a scavenger system. It told me, collect trash this week, fly a jet next week. That's why I was out here early dragging my bag. When I asked for the bottle, Ye Qingshui said, I don't like you. I said, I don't like you either. It was the first time she felt rejected, and she loved it. She asked what I wanted, and I asked for her empty bottle. She was speechless. The crowd was in shock. This guy's collecting trash from the school bell. That's legendary. Ye Qingshui laughed, finished her water, and handed me the bottle. I crushed it under my foot. I stuffed it into my bag in one smooth motion and turned to leave. This completely broke her brain for a few seconds. When she recovered, she got curious. Wait, I have some scrap cardboard in my room. You can have it for free. Hearing there was more loot, I turned back immediately. You're actually a good person. And so, under the envious eyes of the entire school, I followed the goddess into the dorm. I officially became known as the fertilizer bag war god. By pure chance, I ended up singing for a room full of beauties. When I finally came back down, the crowd was massive. Everyone was there to see if the underdog had truly conquered the goddess. The moment I stepped into the spotlight, the crowd erupted into pure chaos. He's here. The absolute madman is walking toward us with a fertilizer sack. Did he actually do something with the school goddess? He was up there for a whole 20 minutes. 20 minutes, that's 1,200 seconds. Ye Qingshui was completely unfazed by the swarming mob. I, on the other hand, was already planning my next move. After all, this wasn't the only girls' dorm on campus, and a man shouldn't limit his horizons. But just as I turned to make my grand exit, Ye Qingshui suddenly called out, Wait, I paused. What is it? Got more scrap for me? She looked slightly embarrassed. Not right now, but I might soon. Let's add each other's contacts. That way you can just come over directly next time to collect it. I shrugged. Sure, works for me. Those few words made every guy in the crowd grind their teeth in absolute fury. This bastard is getting the deal of a lifetime and acting like it's a chore. How many people would kill for the goddess's contact and he's acting reluctant? I ignored the barking dogs in the crowd. As Ye Qingshui and I smoothly exchanged contacts, the scene struck a nerve with a certain girl watching from the shadows, Lu Ruyen. The very girl the previous owner of this body had shamelessly simped over for 2.5 years with zero success. Seeing me casually add Ye Qingshui pushed her over the edge. Her jealousy flared up instantly, and she shoved her way through the crowd, marching right up to me. Lin Yi, what exactly do you think you're doing? This sudden interruption caught me slightly off guard. Sorry, older sister, who are you again? Beside me, Ye Qingshui looked just as confused. And I just gave her a cold stare. Excuse me, could you step aside? You're blocking my trash-picking route. That's when Lu Ruyen decided to turn into a world-class actress. Are you really picking up trash just to buy me a Valentine's Day gift? You didn't have to go this far. My heart hurts seeing you like this. And even if you must, why here? Why are you adding Ye Qingshui? She fired off a barrage of complaints. Ye Qingshui immediately saw right through the act. Smiling faintly, she stepped back, eager to see how I would handle this textbook manipulator. Watching Lu Ruyan's hysterical performance, I unleashed a critical strike. Excuse me, older sister. What exactly is our relationship? Are you overstepping your boundaries? That single sentence choked the life right out of her. She stood there, completely speechless, before stammering out, we're good friends, aren't we? The crowd let out a collective groan of disgust. Good friends? Even a dog would shake its head at that excuse. I sneered. Older sister, why don't you just go back to taking your selfies and baiting the desperate guys in your feed? Just leave me alone, I'm very busy right now. The moment I dropped those words, the crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Holy crap, the ultimate simp has finally awakened. Hanging out with the school goddess really completely changed his aura. Ain't able to handle the public humiliation and desperate to save her innocent persona, Lu Yen decided to go for the nuclear option. She suddenly burst into a dramatic emotional confession. Lin Yi, be my boyfriend. Everything before this was just a test, and now you finally passed. Her words didn't affect me in the slightest, but surprisingly, Ye Qingshui felt a sudden tug in her chest. It was a strange feeling considering she had only known me for less than half an hour. As the crowd began to roar, fully captivated by this explosive drama, I delivered my final verdict, without missing a beat. Sorry, I already have a girlfriend. You can give up right now. Lu Ruyan's eyes went wide with pure shock. She couldn't believe her ears. But then her twisted logic kicked in. He must be lying. Instantly furious, she demanded an answer. You have a girlfriend. Tell me who she is. What major is she in? Why her? Where did I possibly lose? I casually scanned the crowd, looking for a lucky volunteer to use as a shield, but everyone immediately dodged my gaze. Finally, my eyes landed squarely on Ye Qingshui. She froze. Was this guy really going to use her as a human shield? After a brief pause, I turned back to Lu Ruyen and smirked. I think it's better if I don't say her name. I wouldn't want you to feel an extreme inferiority complex. At that moment, Lu Ruyen felt like a knife had been twisted into her heart. Her precious, obedient electronic pet was officially gone. With red, tear-filled eyes, she choked back a sob. Fine. I wish you happiness. Sorry to bother you. But just as she dramatically spun around to leave, I suddenly spoke up. Wait a minute. Lu Rien's eyes instantly lit up, and she whipped back around to look at me. What is it? Did you change your mind? I gave her a massive, mocking grin. Idiot. I was just tricking you. I don't have a girlfriend. Instantly putting her arrogant mask back on, she scoffed. I knew it, you absolute jerk, but before she could finish, I completely shattered her reality. But even though I don't have a girlfriend, I still wouldn't date you in a million years. Goodbye. That absolute brutal takedown left her crushed. Standing off to the side, Ye Qing couldn't hold back a laugh. This guy's venomous tongue was honestly on par with her own. Having delivered the final blow, I hoisted my trusty fertilizer sack over my shoulder and marched away from the girls' dorm, basking in the awe and admiration of the crowd. I even happily hummed a tune as I left, leaving a trail of absolute dominance in my wake. Back at the dorm, Ye Qing still had a lingering smile on her face. Her beautiful roommate gave her a highly suspicious look. Shuer, you're acting very weird today. Don't tell me you actually have feelings for that little beggar? Ye Qing tone immediately turned cold. Don't call him a little beggar. That's incredibly rude. Apologize. Her roommate quickly backpedaled. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll call him handsome brother then. Ye Qing just waved her off dismissively. Impossible. Don't even think about it. Her roommate flashed a painfully sweet smile. Well, that puts my mind at ease, because I was kind of hoping to experience the sweetness of love for myself. Ye Qing felt that strange, sharp tug in her chest once again. What exactly do you mean by that? Xiaolan, don't tell me you actually want to date him. I mean, he's actually really handsome, especially when he was playing the guitar and singing. He had this perfect youthful energy. Another roommate chimed in immediately, nodding furiously. Oh my God, right? I completely felt that too. Thank God I recorded a video of him singing. Ye Qing snapped her head around. You recorded a video? Let me see it. Her roommate smirked mischievously. No way. If you want the video, it's going to cost you 1 bottle of La Mer toner. Ye Qing let out a devious laugh. You dare negotiate terms with me? Then don't blame me for showing no mercy. The dorm room quickly devolved into a chaotic, playful brawl between the girls. Meanwhile, after leaving the girls' dormitory, I didn't waste a single second. I was right back to my true passion, picking up trash. The system's reward notifications were ringing non-stop in my head. I was exhausted, but absolutely thriving. System prompt obtained the school goddess's SSS rank personal trash. Rewarding a special prize, my eyes widened with excitement. What kind of special prize? System prompt. The host has unlocked permission to view Ye Qing private social media feed. I let out a massive sigh of disappointment. That's it? Why the hell would I care about looking at her social media? I wasn't some pathetic simp anymore. Annoyed but undeterred, I continued my glorious patrol around the dormitory. And the harvest was unbelievably bountiful. Suddenly, right next to the dumpster, I spotted an untouched cake. Holy crap, an unexpected treasure. I didn't even have to guess. Some desperate guy definitely bought this, and his merciless crush tossed it straight into the garbage. Without hesitation, I made a bold decision. Whipping out my phone, I snapped a quick picture and sent it straight to my dorm group chat. Brothers, just scored some premium loot, an unopened blueberry cake. My roommates absolutely lost their minds. Godfather, get back here immediately. I haven't even had dinner yet. While the school was busy wondering if I was trying to kidnap the goddess, the truth was far simpler. I just wanted the empty water bottle in her hands. As a transmigrator bound to the ultimate trash-picking system, I had one core philosophy. Pick up trash this week, fly a private jet the next. That was exactly why I had been dragging this plastic sack around since the crack of dawn, relentlessly scavenging every corner of the campus. When I had finally approached the school goddess earlier to ask for her bottle, she had immediately completely shut me down. I don't like you. To which I instantly fired back, I don't like you either. It was the first time in Ye Qing life someone had ever told her that, and she actually found it amusing. Then what do you want? I just wanted to know if you were done with that water bottle and if I could have it. Ye Qing was utterly stunned. The crowd had gone completely wild. This absolute madman is literally trying to collect scrap from the school goddess. Respect. Ye Qing had just smiled, finished the water, and handed it over. I had taken the bottle, dropped it onto the ground, crushed it flat beneath my heel, and tossed it into my sack in one incredibly smooth, flawless motion. And once I had my prize, I simply turned and walked away without a single moment of hesitation. That entire series of bizarre actions had caused Ye Qing brain to completely short-circuit for 2 solid seconds. But when she finally recovered, she was incredibly intrigued. Meanwhile, back in the present, my lap around the dorms had yielded a massive haul. As I stared at the discarded cake I had just found by the trash can, I couldn't help but marvel at the unexpected loot. It was definitely tossed out by some heartless girl after a poor simp delivered it. Pulling out my phone, I snapped a picture and sent it to the group chat. Brothers, I found some premium loot, an unopened blueberry cake. My roommates exploded with excitement. Godfather, hurry back. I'm starving over here. Right on cue, the system notification chimed. Today's trash-picking rewards have reached the maximum limit. The host may return to rest. Hearing that, I let out a long sigh of relief. Hold on, boys. It does. I'm on my way back. Hoisting my fully loaded fertilizer sack, I began the journey home, completely ignoring the dirty looks and mocking sneers from the students passing by. None of their judgment bothered me in the slightest. As the saying goes, others laugh at my madness, but I laugh at their blindness. The moment I stepped into my dorm, I was instantly swarmed by my roommates. Hu Xiaojie grabbed me, vibrating with excitement. Yi, you're famous. You've evolved from the ultimate simp into the fertilizer sack god of war. I just gave him a cold, hard look. Don't call me that. The old Lin Yi is dead. Call me Brother Yi. Brother Yi, you are literally my idol, he praised. The campus forums are blowing up. Everyone says you're involved with Ye King Shui, the #1 goddess of Icun University. If you actually bag her, you better not forget us brothers. I waved him off. Forget about all that. Let's just eat the cake. Aren't you guys starving? My other best friend Li Ming practically drooled. Godfather, I can't wait anymore. Cut it up! In no time, the boys were tearing into the cake like starved wolves. Meanwhile, over in the girls' dormitory, Ye Qing Shui was still listening to the recording of me playing the guitar and singing Sunny Day on loop. Her beautiful roommate finally couldn't take it anymore. Swear, you've had that on loop for 2 hours. Take a break. If you admire him that much, just ask him out. There isn't a single man on earth who could reject you. Ye Qing Shui just scoffed. No way. I never make the first move. If you're not going to ask him out, then I will. I'm actually super interested in him, her roommate teased with a giggle. Ye Qing Shui instantly bounced up from her bed, panic flashing in her eyes. You're not allowed to ask him out either, her roommate just laughed. You are so bossy. Fine, I'll just browse the campus forums to see what everyone else is saying about him. Back in the boys' dorm, my roommates had demolished the cake with terrifying speed. Wiping his mouth, Li Ming suddenly looked inspired. Brother Yi, I kinda want to go pick up trash and test my luck too. Go for it, I said. Maybe you'll find a giant diamond sword or something. To my utter shock, Li Ming actually sprinted out of the dorm with bursting enthusiasm. Incredibly, he actually found a cake too, a strawberry-flavored one. But I politely declined a slice, since I was already tired of eating sweets. Fast forward to the middle of the night, I was scrolling through videos in the dark, when I suddenly heard rustling sounds coming from the other beds. I sat straight up. What the hell are you guys doing? Hu Xiaojie groaned in absolute agony. Holy crap, Brother Yi. You really can't just eat random garbage. Which absolute scumbag poisoned that cake? I feel like I'm dying. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Hurry up and hit the showers, you idiots. I'm out of here for the night. See ya, Hu Xiaojie weakly pleaded. Brother Yi, we're fine. We're just feeling a little restless. You can sleep peacefully. No thanks, I shot back. I'm terrified you guys are going to use cockroaches as an excuse to crawl into my bed. Without another word, I fled the dorm room in the dead of night. I wasn't about to risk my life with those poisoned fools. The campus was incredibly quiet at this hour. Walking alone down the tree-lined path, I felt deeply bored. But honestly, that wasn't the most painful part of this whole transmigration experience. The most tragic part was that none of the websites I had saved in my previous life worked in this world. Suddenly, I remembered the system's special reward. I currently had full access to the untouchable school goddess Ye Qing Shui's private social media. All right, I muttered to myself. Let's see just how private this private feed really is. With the system's help, I bypassed all restrictions and opened her hidden profile. And honestly, it was incredibly nice. No wonder so many guys were insanely obsessed with her. With that figure and that face, anyone would be instantly captivated. She absolutely loved taking selfies. There were all kinds of styles, elegant, cute, and intensely alluring. I won't lie, standing alone in the dead of night looking at these photos definitely made my heart skip a beat. But quickly shaking off the thought, I decided to let it go. At that exact same moment, back in the girls' dormitory, Ye Qing Shui and her stunning roommates were wide awake, furiously gossiping about my dark past. Oh my god, her roommate gasped. Lin Yi was seriously the ultimate romantic. Whenever he delivered breakfast to his crush, he brought 5 whole portions, 1 for the goddess and 3 for her roommates. Ye Qing Shui blinked. Wait, what about the 5th portion? The last one went to the goddess's other romantic interest. I'm literally crying. He truly is the god of pure love. Hearing this, a whirlwind of complex emotions surged inside Ye Qing Shui. She slowly opened my social media profile, only to find a feed filled with nothing but self-sacrificing, tragic devotion. For the first time, she felt a profound sense of pity for me. Why would he do this to himself? She asked softly. That girl clearly didn't even like him. It probably has to do with his family background, her roommate analyzed. He's actually really handsome, he's just way too insecure. Swear, why don't you become the light in his life? Her roommate teased softly. Ye Qing Shui just rolled her eyes. I'm a girl of darkness. What light could I possibly offer? Her roommate giggled. Then I'll go illuminate his world. Leave this incredibly difficult mission to me. Ye Qing Shui didn't reply, but she didn't sleep a wink that night. Her mind kept replaying the melody of Sunny Day that I had sung. She simply couldn't understand why a guy with that kind of talent would willingly degrade himself as someone else's simp. Meanwhile, I ended up sleeping outside on campus for the entire night. The moment I woke up, I noticed a crew setting up a massive stage nearby. Walking over to investigate, I found out they were hosting auditions for a campus dating reality show. I scoffed. I had absolutely zero interest in a dating show. I'm a transmigrator. Who has time for romance? I needed to get rich first. A real man can survive without love, but he absolutely cannot survive without money. Thanks to my trash-picking efforts last night, the system had rewarded me with 20,000 yuan in pure cash. I was making bank daily. Just a few more days and I'd be soaring. Suddenly, a notification chimed. System has refreshed. Does the host wish to accept the new mission? My face lit up instantly. Refreshed already? What kind of insane surprise is it this time? The system's voice echoed. Participate in the campus dating show. If successfully selected as a male guest, you will receive an incredibly generous reward. Hearing that, I felt a sudden wave of disappointment. So the system just wanted me to join a dating show? System bro, I asked, what kind of rewards are we talking about here? System bro. I quickly interrupted. What the hell is a mega snack pack? Why don't you just give me a bag of sunflower seeds while you're at it? Oh, really? Then show me a little sample first. Let's see what you've got. This series is mostly advances and becomes a male guest coordinator. Only one day, I grumbled in dissatisfaction. Don't go anywhere within dissatisfaction. Should Tasty advances and becomes a male guest, the Range Rover is yours permanently. Deal, I instantly agreed. Fired up and completely motivated, I immediately went straight to the program staff and grabbed a registration form. After buying breakfast, I returned to the dorm only to find my roommates looking utterly drained as they desperately scrubbed the room. What on earth are you guys doing? I asked in pure disbelief. Brother Yi, as you can see, we're cleaning. Hu Xiaojie groaned. We're trying to use physical labor to distract ourselves from the pain. I couldn't help but laugh. All right, whatever works, but eat first. I brought you guys steamed buns and tea eggs. Touched beyond words, Hu Xiaojie practically wept. Thank you, Godfather. While they devoured their food, I slammed my registration form onto the desk and started filling it out. Munching on a bun, Hu Xiaojie peeked over. Godfather, what's that? It's an application for the dating show, I replied casually. I'm participating. Hu Xiaojie instantly got excited. Brother Yi, need me to rally some votes for you on the campus forum. I heard this audition has an audience voting segment. Do whatever, I shrugged. But honestly, I'm just going to crush them with pure skill. Without hesitation, Hu Xiaojie snapped a handsome picture of me and posted it straight to the campus forum, slapping on the trending tag, Fertilizer Sack God of War. In a flash, the picture went completely viral. At 9 a.m. in the girls' dormitory, Ye Qing-shui's beautiful roommate woke up and started scrolling on her phone, only to stumble right across that viral photo. Shuer, wake up, she screamed in absolute excitement. Ye Qing-shui, who had suffered from insomnia all night and only just managed to fall asleep, groaned as she was startled awake. Rubbing her heavy eyes, she muttered, "What is it now? That little beggar, Lin Yi, is actually participating in the campus dating show. Aren't you going to watch?" Ye Qing-shui's eyes snapped completely open. What did you just say? He's joining a dating show. A sudden, highly unpleasant feeling flared up in her chest. Throwing off her covers, she scrambled out of bed and rushed straight to the washroom. Watching her panic, the roommate flashed a knowing smile. Shuer is actually panicking. Looks like she really caught feelings for that broke guy. Every single guy in school who had ever confessed to the goddess had failed miserably. But when I, a supposedly broke loser dragging a plastic sack, had boldly marched into the crowd, everyone had genuinely thought I was trying to kidnap her, but what they didn't know was that I merely wanted the empty water bottle she was holding. As a transmigrator bound to the ultimate trash-picking system, my philosophy was simple. Pick up trash this week, fly a private jet the next. That was why I had spent my entire morning dragging that plastic sack around, scavenging everything in sight. When I had finally prepared to ask the goddess for her bottle, she had preemptively shot me down. "I don't like you." To which I instantly fired back, "I don't like you either." It was the very first time in Ye Qing-shui's life someone had ever told her that. Actually finding it amusing, she had asked, "Then what do you want?" "I just wanted to ask, are you done with that water bottle? If so, can I have it?" Ye Qing-shui had been completely left speechless. The crowd had gone absolutely insane. This guy is really trying to collect scrap from the school goddess. Pure respect. What massive guts, but Ye Qing-shui had simply smiled, finished the water, and handed it right over. I had taken the water bottle, dropped it on the ground, crushed it flat with my foot, and tossed it into my fertilizer sack in one incredibly smooth motion. Then, without lingering for even a second, I had simply turned and walked away. That bizarre chain of events had caused Ye Qing-shui's brain to completely short-circuit for 2 full seconds, but once she processed what had just happened, her interest had been instantly piqued. Now, the very next morning in the girls' dorm, her roommate had just stumbled upon the photo of me joining the dating show. Shuer! Wake up, she yelled, shaking her. Having barely slept all night, Ye Qing-shui rubbed her tired eyes. What is it now? That little beggar Lin Yi is joining the campus dating show. Aren't you going to go watch? Ye Qingshui's eyes snapped wide open, sleep instantly vanishing from her system. What did you just say? He's participating. In a dating show? Hearing this news, a highly unpleasant feeling tightened Ye Qingshui's chest. She practically leaped out of bed and rushed to wash up. Her roommate whispered with a smirk. Sure is genuinely panicking. She really has caught feelings for that poor guy. The dating show auditions officially kicked off at 9 a.m. Every single applicant was from the absolute top tier of Akun University's most attractive students. The guys were all decked out in sharp suits and ties, while the girls predominantly wore short skirts, flaunting their endless legs. Yi Qingshui hastily applied some light makeup and rushed to the venue in a frenzy. She was wearing a simple white t-shirt and shorts, yet that casual outfit delivered the most devastating visual impact of all, instantly pouring gasoline on the already blazing atmosphere. Oh my god. Yi Qingshui is here. Is she participating too? With her looks, figure, and aura, she's completely in a league of her own. If she enters, the other girls don't even stand a chance. Bro, did you not hear the rumors? Bro, did you not hear the rumors? While the crowd continued to gossip, Ye Qingshui frantically scanned the area, but there was no sign of Lin Yi anywhere. Was the rumor fake? Little did she know, I had only just stepped out of my dorm building. Hu Xiaojie couldn't help but plead, Brother Yi, can you please wear something decent? If you go up on stage dressed like that, you won't even survive the first round. No need, I replied casually. I think this outfit is perfect. Athletic shorts and a black tank top. It's light, breathable, and doesn't restrict my movement. Just then, a gleaming Range Rover parked nearby caught their attention. Hu Xiaojie gasped in awe. Damn, which rich kid just bought that? It's so sick. Li Ming stared at it with pure envy. Man, I dream of owning a big Range Rover like that. Right on cue, the system chimed. Message unlock permanent ownership. The host may now unlock the vehicle using fingerprint recognition. Hearing that, my mood instantly skyrocketed. Strutting over with absolute confidence, I casually pressed my thumb against the handle and unlocked the beast. Hu Xiaojie's jaw hit the floor. Holy crap, holy crap. Brother Yi, are you finally dropping the act? Are you revealing your true identity? Li Ming beat his chest in pure agony. I was afraid my brother would suffer in poverty. But I never expected my brother to be driving a damn Range Rover. I laughed. Cut the crap and get in. Your big brother is taking you for a ride to flex. The moment Hu Xiaojie sat in the luxurious leather seats, his posture instantly straightened. It was true what they said, a Range Rover really did inject pure confidence straight into your veins. He giggled giddily. I've never been in a car this expensive before. Brother Yi, where did you even get this? Rented it with the money I made from picking up trash last night, I replied smoothly. Hu Xiaojie was utterly stunned. Brother Yi, you are a god. Who the hell picks up enough trash to rent a luxury car? Soon enough, we rolled right up to the audition venue. The arrival of the massive Range Rover immediately drew the eyes of the entire crowd. Wow, nice ride. Which rich young master is driving that? This world is so unfair. Some people drive luxury cars, others ride electric scooters, and I'm just out here as a background NPC. In my rage, all I can do is, well, just be a little angry. Nearby, Yi Qingshui's roommate nudged her excitedly. Shuer, look, that luxury car over there is so cool. Yi Qingshui didn't even glance over, not interested. But then her roommate gasped. Holy crap! Why is Lin Yi getting out of that car? At the sound of my name, Ye Qingshui whipped her head around instantly. Where? The entire crowd was in absolute disbelief. Just yesterday, this guy was hauling a fertilizer sack around campus, picking up garbage. How was he suddenly driving a Range Rover? He definitely rented it. Just look at his raggedy clothes. Does he look like he deserves that car? Holy crap, the goddess Ye Qingshui is walking straight towards him. Mom, do they actually have something going on? As expected of the fertilizer sack god of war. He is an absolute legend. I don't even care if the car is rented, he's still a total boss. Ignoring the whispers, Ye Qingshui parted the crowd, marched right up to me, and demanded coldly, What are you doing here? I glanced at her and offered a bright smile. Oh, it's you. What a coincidence. I'm here for the dating show auditions. Ye Qingshui looked genuinely taken aback. Why are you joining this mess? What, do you want to start dating? I chuckled. Who doesn't want to experience the sweetness of love? Then why don't you just find someone on campus? Wouldn't that be faster? Because the girls on this show are going to be incredibly beautiful, I replied matter-of-factly. If I'm going to date, obviously I want to date the best-looking ones. A man has to think big and broaden his horizons. Hearing that, Yi Qingshui immediately frowned. Is that so? Then I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, I replied politely. Are you here to participate too? Her expression was totally cold. I'm not participating. Then why are you here? I'm here to watch you get eliminated. I smirked with absolute confidence. Sorry to disappoint, but the lucky male guest selected today is absolutely going to be me. Watching the two of us banter so naturally, the surrounding crowd was completely consumed by jealousy. How the hell is he doing this? It's all because of the Range Rover. Sometimes you don't even need to speak, the Range Rover speaks for you. Bullshit. Last time I pulled up in a Lamborghini and asked Ye Qingshui out. She didn't even look at me. Soon, the first round of auditions officially began. Everyone lined up to receive their number tags. The scorching summer heat was absolutely brutal, making everyone sweat profusely. But not a single person left the line. Yi Ching Shui stood under the shade of a nearby tree, silently watching my every move. Nobody knew what was going through her mind. Wiping his forehead, Li Ming nudged me. "Brother Yi, I'm going to buy some water. You want one?" "No need," I replied calmly. "Someone will bring me water in a bit. Just buy for yourselves." Li Ming gave me a wildly skeptical look. "Brother Yi, I think you're overthinking it. Usually you're the one running around like a dog delivering water to the goddess. Who in the world is going to bring you water? You talk too much nonsense. Just go buy your own drinks," I snapped playfully. Meanwhile, the beautiful roommate returned with 2 cups of lemonade. "Sure, here's one for you. Let's call this the scumbag beater lemonade. Oh, and I actually bought an extra cup. I'm going to go deliver it to the Range Rover guy." Ye Qing Shui panicked instantly and grabbed her arm. "Xiaolan, why are you giving him water? Do you even know him?" "This is the perfect excuse to introduce myself," she teased. "Don't try to stop me. If you stop me, it means you're secretly jealous." Ye Qing Shui rolled her eyes and let go. "Fine, go ahead. I'm not stopping you." But just a few seconds later, Xiaolan returned completely crestfallen and humiliated. "Oh my god, he actually refused my water. That was so embarrassing, I'm dying." Ye Qing Shui chuckled softly. "Maybe your delivery technique was just off." Her roommate sighed dramatically. "Don't even talk about it, my heart is completely shattered." On the other side of the courtyard, Hu Xiaoji was completely baffled by my actions. "Brother Yi, how could you reject such a cute girl? Do you know how heartbroken she must be?" "Look at you panicking again," I scolded lightly. "Stay calm. Hold your horses, what's the rush?" Meanwhile, the more Xiaolan thought about the rejection, the angrier she got. "Don't be mad," Ye Qing Shui comforted her. "I'll go teach him a lesson for you. Yes, teach him a brutal lesson. This is outrageous. It was the first time in my life I actively hit on a guy, and I was ruthlessly rejected." Without wasting another second, Ye Qing Shui started marching right toward me. In reality, she wasn't actually trying to settle any scores. She just wanted an excuse to talk to me some more. She got straight to the point. "Playing hard to get, huh? My roommate just brought you a drink. Why didn't you drink it?" "Because I never accept drinks from strangers," I replied smoothly. "Then if I offer you a drink, would you drink it?" "Because I know you." Ye Qing Shui smirked. "Your anti-scam awareness is quite strong. Wait here. I'll go get it for you." But before she could leave, I suddenly spoke up. "Wait a minute." Ye Qing Shui turned back. "What is it?" Flashing a bright, shameless grin, I pointed at her hand. "I want to drink that one." The moment those words left my mouth, Hu Xiaojie was completely dumbfounded. Was Brother Yi really this fearless? The lemonade Ye Qing Shui was holding was the one she had already drank from. There was literally a lipstick mark on the straw. The collective thoughts of the entire crowd synced up perfectly. Was this guy carrying a lantern into a minefield? Was he actively seeking death? But honestly, I just loved the thrill of dancing on the blade's edge. Ye Qing Shui froze for 2 whole seconds, then, staring right into my eyes, she challenged, "If I dare to offer it, do you dare to drink it?" I sneered right back. "I dare to drink it, but do you actually dare to offer it?" This was the very first time anyone had ever provoked Ye Qing Shui like this. Her playful side completely taking over, she confidently extended the half-empty cup toward me. She was absolutely certain I wouldn't have the guts to take it. But to her complete shock, I naturally reached out, grabbed the cup, took a long sip right in front of her face, and then casually licked my lips. The crowd was utterly paralyzed with shock. There was absolutely something going on between these two. The school goddess Ye Qing Shui actually gave her half-drank lemonade to an ultimate simp. "Bro, did you not watch the news yesterday? Lin Yi isn't a simp anymore. He is the fertilizer sac god of war." Doesn't this mean they just indirectly kissed? Using the goddess's straw, I can't even imagine how heavenly that straw must smell. You absolute trash. I wouldn't even dare to dream of that. Completely thrown off by my wildly unexpected move, Ye Qing Shui flushed with embarrassment and anger. You actually drank it." Keeping a perfectly straight face, I replied, "Why wouldn't I? It's not like it's poison." Infuriated, Ye Qing Shui angrily stomped her foot. Fine. Drink it. Drink the whole thing. Don't you dare leave a single drop." Then, fuming with rage, she whipped around and stormed off. I had boldly drank her lemonade right in front of her, making her stomp her feet in pure frustration because I refused to follow the standard script. It was hilarious. Did she really think she could predict my moves? After successfully angering the goddess into leaving, the audition officially commenced. The contestants took the stage one by one. The endless line of girls in short skirts and guys in sharp suits was incredibly easy on the eyes. That was, until I finally strolled onto the stage wearing gray shorts and a pair of cheap flip-flops. And the entire crowd instantly erupted into uncontrollable laughter. I can't hold it in, bros. Is this guy in the flip-flops just here to feed the enemy team? However, the judges sitting below the stage all simultaneously revealed expressions of profound excitement. This young man in the flip-flops is excellent one look, and you can tell he has a deeply affectionate soul. Soon, the competition was underway. Speaking into the microphone, the head judge announced, Next, please answer my questions one by one. First question, what is the most memorable thing you have ever done for a girl you liked? Contestant number 66 answered first. I once liked a girl and I sent her good morning and good night texts for 100 days straight. Not bad, the judge praised. Very deeply affectionate. Next, contestant number 67 stepped up. I used to buy her breakfast every day, and whenever we ate together, I always brought my own hair ties just so I could tie her hair up for her. Very good, the judge nodded. Excellent attention to detail. After the first 4 contestants finished their sappy stories, it was finally my turn. The ambient noise in the crowd noticeably spiked. Everyone knew Lin Yi was formerly the most infamous simp on campus. Anything he shared would undoubtedly be a nuclear-level story. Yet, I just held the microphone and calmly stated, I've never done anything for my goddess. She is the one who constantly sacrifices for me. The moment those words dropped, the entire venue exploded. Everyone absolutely thought I was spewing pure bullshit. Intrigued, the judge asked, "Oh, really? Then please share with us what exactly has your goddess done for you?" I offered a warm, nostalgic smile. "She makes me desserts all the time. Actually, she has a very special, exclusive recipe just for me." The judge leaned in. "And what kind of dessert is that?" Slowly, I enunciated the punchline with perfect dramatic timing, the cold shoulder. The moment the words registered, the crowd burst into roaring laughter. This guy is way too damn funny. Bro, I eat my goddess's cold shoulder all the time too. Ha ha ha, does this even count as being a simp? It definitely counts, but he's a highly humorous simp. Girls love that kind of self-deprecation. Even the judges were pleasantly surprised. This contestant was genuinely interesting. While everyone else was laughing out loud, Ye Qingshui was the only one with a completely cold expression. Her eyes remained locked onto me, her mind racing with unknown thoughts. The judge continued, "Contestant number 70, what else has your goddess done for you?" "You guys have no idea," I sighed deeply. "My goddess is incredibly considerate of my finances. Every single time I invite her out to eat, she tells me to save my money and get lost." The judge couldn't help but exclaim, "Absolute genius." Realizing they couldn't possibly compete with this level of comedic self-awareness, the other contestants on stage began to forfeit and walk off one by one. Muttering in defeat, "How are we supposed to compete with this? It's impossible." I stood proudly on the stage, soaking in the deafening thunderous applause. Very quickly, I was the only contestant left standing. The judge beamed. "Congratulations to contestant number 70, Lin Yi, for successfully advancing to the finals. Tonight at 8 p.m., we will hold the ultimate showdown in the Indoor Activity Center." I had smoothly breezed into the finals without a single ripple of anxiety in my heart. Sure, plenty of people in the audience were laughing at me, but I wasn't angry in the slightest. I knew exactly what I was doing. My simp persona was completely faked for entertainment, while their simp behavior in real life was painfully genuine. But off to the side, Ye Tingxue was genuinely losing control of her emotions. "What on earth is this idiot doing?" she snapped furiously. "Does he actually enjoy being the campus laughingstock? Seeing her so unusually worked up?" Her roommate pretended to be confused. "Shuer, why are you worrying about him so much?" Ye Qingshui immediately went on the defensive. "I am not worrying about him. He's just a massive idiot. Calling some other girl his goddess, he's infuriating me." "Oh," her roommate teased. "So you're actually jealous. What kind of nonsense is that? Why would I be jealous? You're being ridiculous." As she watched me step down from the stage, Ye Qingshui puffed her cheeks angrily. "Come on, let's go interrogate him." Meanwhile, yesterday's brutal rejection had inflicted a critical 10,000-point psychological blow on Lu Ruyan. She had stayed up all night, spiraling into deep self-doubt. When she heard I was joining a dating show, she felt like her most prized toy was being stolen away forever. Desperate, Lu Ruyan had rushed straight to the venue, determined to reclaim her loyal electronic pet. The moment she saw me, she immediately lunged forward and apologized. "Lin Yi, I'm so sorry I made you suffer before." I stared at her with absolute freezing coldness. "Don't apologize to me. Right now, my only wish is to have absolutely nothing to do with you." "No, you can't," she screamed hysterically. "You can't join that dating show. You are only allowed to be my simp. Yes, you can't be anyone else's simp." The instant those delusional words echoed through the air, the entire venue erupted into absolute chaos. Ye Qingshui noticed the highly irritating situation unfolding. She wanted to step forward and help me out, but her beautiful roommate grabbed her arm. "Grandma, don't get involved. You're going to stir up a massive public scandal." Ye Qingshui replied coldly. "I'm not afraid of a scandal. I just can't watch Lin Yi fall into the hands of a manipulative T-bitch." "Relax," her roommate urged. "Let's observe Lin Yi's reaction first. We don't want to offer a warm face only to get a cold shoulder." Meanwhile, I looked at Lu Rian's teary, wronged expression and let out a cold laugh. "I'll simp for whoever I want. Is it any of your business? In the past, I was exclusively your simp, your personal backup tire. But now, if I simp for 100 girls at the same time, you become my backup tire." The crowd gasped in absolute shock. Holy crap. This guy's understanding of the simp meta is top tier. Panic flashed in Lu Ruyan's eyes. "Lin Yi, I'm truly sorry. How about this starting right now? I'll treat you to dinner and a movie, okay?" "I'm deeply sorry, classmate Lu. I replied smoothly. My simping quota for this semester is already completely full. Try again next semester. Next semester? Next semester I'll be participating in the dating show. I'll be busy simping for the school goddess by then. Who has the time for you? Look on the bright side. Your era of monopolizing my simping has officially ended. In the future, I will be the exclusive full-time virtual boyfriend of the dating show goddess. This final blow completely shattered Lu Rian's defenses. The mere thought of me being good to other girls made her chest ache terribly. Finally, she decided to use her ultimate move. She suddenly took off her outer jacket and stepped right in front of me. The crowd instantly erupted into cheers. Is she using the honey trap? What college guy can resist this? Flushing bright red, Lu Ruyan looked up at me. Lin Yi, I know I confessed to you yesterday, and you probably thought it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. But today, I want to confess to you again. Will you be my boyfriend? Whatever you want. As long as you just nod your head, I'll give it to you. Under such intense temptation, the surrounding crowd was seething with jealousy. Hurry up and agree. She's basically offering herself on a silver platter. What more do you want? Take the deal and officially retire from the simp life. Bro, I'm getting anxious for you. Don't wait. Please just say yes. Just as everyone was absolutely certain I had no reason to reject Lu Rian again, I replied with zero hesitation and absolute ruthlessness. Do you honestly think changing your skin will make me agree? Keep dreaming. If you don't like me, just tell me directly, Lu Rian cried out. Stop playing hard to get. You're making me really sad. Hearing this, I dramatically mimed gagging. All right then. I don't like you. Lu Rian fiercely shook her head. I don't believe you. Good lord, the crowd muttered, completely dumbfounded. They genuinely couldn't tell who was the actual simp anymore. Lu Rian stubbornly clung to me. If you don't agree today, I won't let you leave. Feeling incredibly annoyed, I had no choice but to call my roommate for backup. Hu Xiaojie, get over here. In a flash, Hu Xiaojie ran over, handing me the freshly printed documents I had prepared beforehand. I pulled out a sheet and shoved it at Lu Rian. She stared at it, confused. What is this? It's a simp application form. Fill it out first so I can see if you meet the minimum requirements. Lu Ruyan was completely paralyzed with shock. She looked at me with a pained expression. With our history, do I really need to fill out a form? I immediately cut her off. Hey, no skipping the line. No backdoor deals. Then if I fill it out, when will I get an answer? Allow 15 simping business days. Don't rush me, I'm a very busy man. Reluctantly glancing down at the form, Lu Rian began reading the questions out loud to herself. Can you eat shaved ice? Can you watch late-night movies? Do you like glow-in-the-dark watches? What the hell is all this? Lin Yi, I'm not filling this out. You don't want to fill it out. I sneered. No problem. Plenty of others do. Without missing a beat, I shouted to the crowd, anyone else want an application form? Instantly, a sea of girls raised their hands, their enthusiasm going through the roof. After all, who wouldn't want a highly humorous, dedicated simp who also happened to drive a luxury Range Rover? Seeing the competition, Lu Ruyan immediately panicked. Wait. I'll fill it out. I ignored her, turned around smoothly, and swaggered away under the awestruck gaze of the entire courtyard. The auditions continued, but the remaining male contestants were feeling an immense crushing pressure. Nobody expected a legendary simp to crash the competition halfway through, especially a highly motivated, upwardly mobile simp trying to defy the heavens and rewrite his fate. Watching the chaos unfold, Ye Qing felt a strange, turbulent wave of emotions inside. Shuer, her roommate nudged her. Should we go over and congratulate him? Ye Qing laughed softly. No need. We're going to go grab a registration form instead. Her roommate looked at her in pure shock. Shuer? Are you going to get a simp application form too? Ye Qing rolled her eyes. You idiot. I'm getting a dating show registration form. But I thought you weren't participating. What changed? Ah, I know, her roommate gasped, a wicked grin spreading across her face. You're doing this because that broke boy made your heart flutter, didn't he? Ye Qing let out a cold laugh. Are you joking? Only 3 things on my body can flutter. Her roommate looked incredibly curious. 3 things? Which ones? But a second later, realizing the implication, the roommate's face flushed bright red. Yi Qing, you're terrible, you little witch. And just like that, my completely unorthodox, chaotic performance successfully pushed me into the finals. At the same time, it made Ye Qing change her mind and join the show. As for exactly why she changed her mind, even she couldn't give a straight answer. Meanwhile, I was currently driving the Range Rover with my roommates, happily cruising down the road to enjoy the breeze. Hu Xiaojie looked over at me with pure admiration. Thank God I didn't abandon you when you were at your lowest, Brother Yi. Now I finally get to sit in your passenger seat, Li Ming chimed in excitedly. Brother Yi, I promise you from this day forward, Brother Jie and I will follow your every command. Don't worry, brothers, I laughed confidently. If you guys ever end up broke in the future, it just means I failed as your big brother. Just like that, I spent the entire day joyriding with my best friends. We didn't head back until 8 p.m. Meanwhile, the university's indoor activity center was completely packed to the brim. Everyone was eagerly looking around, searching for my arrival. Where's the fertilizer sack god of war? The finals are going to be boring without him. Forget about the god of war, bro. Look, the school goddess Ye Qing Shui is here. Holy crap, she is so beautiful. Ye Qing Shui, who had effortlessly breezed through the afternoon auditions, entered the center wearing an elegant, stunning, strapless evening gown. Her roommate, following closely behind, excitedly whispered, "When Lin Yi sees you in this, he's going to be absolutely mesmerized." Ye Qing Shui smiled confidently. Mesmerizing him? That's child's play. But right at that moment, a massive commotion erupted at the entrance. The entire audience practically stood up, welcoming the fertilizer sac god of war with deafening, explosive cheers. The sheer volume of the roar was actually louder than the reaction Ye Qingshui had just received. Ye Qingshui was utterly baffled. How did this absolute weirdo possess such an incredibly powerful magnetic presence? The finals were about to begin. Guided by the staff, all the advancing contestants were brought to a designated backstage waiting area. That was where I finally crossed paths with the stunningly beautiful Ye Qingshui. We locked eyes for a brief moment, but neither of us said a word. Playing the silent game, huh? Ye Qingshui thought to herself. Fine, I'll ignore you too. Let's see who breaks first. However, I maintained an absolutely cold, emotionless expression, completely silent. Ye Qingshui couldn't help but feel a twinge of disappointment. Was this guy completely oblivious to romance? But just as she began to doubt herself, I suddenly couldn't hold back anymore. Reaching out, I lightly tapped her on the shoulder. This completely unexpected physical contact made Ye Qingshui feel like she had just been struck by a bolt of electricity. Her heart instantly began racing. Putting up her cold, icy facade, she glared at me. "What do you want? Do you have any toilet paper?" I asked awkwardly. Ye Qingshui was instantly rendered speechless. She couldn't believe it. She had genuinely thought I was going to say something smooth, but I was just asking for toilet paper. "What do you need tissue for?" she asked coldly. I answered without a single shred of hesitation. "To take a crap. I don't have tissue for that. I only have the kind for wiping hands." I stared at her, completely confused. "I really don't understand. Aren't they exactly the same thing? They are completely different. Thanks." Right at that moment, a cute girl suddenly walked over. "Handsome, I have some tissue. I can lend you some." Touched by her kindness, I practically teared up. "Thank you so much. You're a wonderful person." The cute girl smiled sweetly. "Handsome, I also filled out your simp application form earlier. Could you maybe?" I instantly grinned, cutting her off. "I understand completely. No problem, I'll definitely let you cut the line." Flashing a sweet, victorious smile, the girl pulled out a small slip of paper. "Here's my contact info. Add me and we can chat." Dropping the paper into my hand, she quickly scurried away. Ye Qingshui finally couldn't hold it in anymore. "She's obviously trying to hook you. Are you completely blind?" I shook my head innocently. "No, she's not. I think she's just a genuinely nice and considerate person." "Open your eyes and look closely. What do you think she's actually after?" I stroked my chin, pretending to think deeply. She's probably just drawn to my overwhelming, inescapable charm." Ye Qingshui rolled her eyes in sheer disbelief. She tried to warn me again. "Be careful. She's definitely just treating you like air." "Treating me like air? That's amazing," I gasped happily. Who in this world can survive without air? This absolutely ridiculous response completely shattered Ye Qingshui's defenses. Infuriated, she reached out and snatched the tissue right out of my hand. "You need to stay right here and cool your head." "Holy crap, older sister. I really need to take a dump." "Give that back." I can go cool my head inside the stall. But Ye Qingshui furiously clutched the tissue tightly, refusing to let go. She had genuinely thought changing into a beautiful dress would instantly mesmerize me on the spot. But not only had I remained completely unfazed and silent, I had actually managed to infuriate her to the point of breaking her composure in exactly 2.5 minutes. Furious, Ye Qingshui snatched the tissue the cute girl had given me and held it in a death grip. "Holy crap, older sister. I seriously need to take a crap. Give it back, I'm going to explode." But Ye Qingshui refused to yield. Seeing no other option, I let out a heavy sigh of defeat. Looking down at the tiny slip of paper the cute girl had given me with her contact info, I muttered to myself, "If I fold this enough times, it should be enough." Suddenly, Ye Qingshui shoved a sleek black packet of tissues into my chest. "Take it. Now get out of my sight." I grabbed the black tissue packet and gave it a quick sniff. Wow, it smells amazing. Girls' tissues really are built differently. Without another word, I sprinted frantically toward the bathroom. 10 minutes later, I returned to the backstage area, feeling completely refreshed. The first round of the finals was already underway. Walking up to Ye Qingshui, I smiled. "Thanks for the tissue. Next time you go out and forget to bring some, I'll lend you mine." "Thanks, but that will absolutely never happen," she replied coldly. Just then, the host's voice echoed through the speakers, calling my name. Suddenly, Ye Qingshui spoke up. "Lin Yi, can you please stop acting like a clown? I really don't want to see them laughing at you." I just chuckled. Others laugh at my madness, but I laugh at their blindness. A faint, completely involuntary smile tugged at the corner of Ye Qingshui's lips. This guy, he actually sounds pretty poetic when he wants to. The moment I stepped onto the stage, the crowd erupted into thunderous, united applause. "He's here! He's here! The fertilizer sac god of war has arrived. Tremble in fear, handsome boys. Today you're going to feel the absolute dominance of the underdog." The head judge picked up his microphone. The theme for this round is, say the one sentence that will instantly break a girl's defenses. It was obvious the production team was testing the male contestants' crisis management skills to see if they could avoid relationship landmines. This immediately caused my supporters in the crowd to panic. Oh no, we simps are completely clueless, straight men. We have zero emotional intelligence. The god of war is in serious trouble. But quickly, a handsome contestant on stage grabbed his mic and answered confidently. The most defensive breaking phrase is, if you want to think that way, then there's nothing I can do. The crowd booed loudly. It was a completely generic, textbook answer, but it definitely hit the mark. The handsome guy quickly added, this phrase is extremely irresponsible. If I am chosen for this dating show, I absolutely guarantee I will never say something so foolish to my female partner. The judge nodded in deep satisfaction. Very good. Bonus points. The second contestant confidently stepped up. The phrase that breaks a girl's defenses the most is, I'll change, okay? This phrase shows the guy is being completely dismissive and not taking the issue seriously. Therefore, if I am selected for this show, I will never be the king of excuses. I will prove with actual actions that I am a responsible man. The judge smiled brightly. Excellent, bonus points. Hearing this, the crowd supporting me completely panicked. We're doomed. Even the rich pretty boys are pretending to be simps now. The god of war has lost his only advantage. But right as everyone began to lose faith in me, I casually picked up my microphone, unhurried and completely calm. Mom, I'm not coming home for New Year's. The instant those words dropped, the entire venue froze. Even the judges were completely bewildered. What on earth did that mean? After a perfectly timed 2.5-second pause, I delivered the punchline. Because in my heart, my mom is also a girl. Boom. The realization hit the crowd instantly. The entire venue erupted into thunderous, earth-shaking applause. The judge practically jumped out of his seat. Perfect score. You advance to the next round. The other two pretty boys on stage stood there in absolute stunned silence. How the hell were they supposed to compete with this? This guy was completely disregarding all standard logic. Watching from backstage, a genuine smile broke across Ye Qingshui's face. This guy was truly one of a kind. You could simply never predict what he was going to say next. Soon after, the men's division wrapped up, and it was time for the women's group to take the stage. Without question, Ye Qingshui instantly became the absolute center of attention, the absolute main character under the spotlight. The guys in the audience were losing their minds. Brothers, just the thought of her kissing another guy in the future, it honestly hurts more than killing me. I'm crying. From the stage, Ye Qingshui's gaze swept across the audience, actively searching for me. But strangely, I wasn't sitting in the crowd, just as a wave of disappointment washed over her. A highly disruptive, bizarre sound suddenly blared from the audience. Why Qing XU, do your best. I had salvaged a cheap megaphone from the trash, recorded those 5 words, and set it to infinitely loop on max volume. Ye Qingshui was absolutely stunned. A bright, embarrassed flush immediately spread across her cold, gorgeous face. The audience was completely paralyzed with secondhand embarrassment. Holy crap, this is so awkward. I'm literally cringing out of my skin. Lin Yi just completely humiliated the goddess. Just wait until she comes down, she's going to slap him twice. But I wasn't panicked in the slightest. As long as I didn't feel awkward, the awkwardness belonged to everyone else. Soon, the judges announced Ye Qingshui's successful advancement to the next round. The moment she stepped off stage, she immediately stormed toward me, furious and completely ready to settle the score. But she was walking so fast in her high heels that her ankles suddenly rolled. Instantly losing her balance, she pitched forward and completely by accident, fell directly into my arms. The crowd's jaws collectively hit the floor. What the hell is going on? Why are they hugging? This isn't how the script goes. Shouldn't she be slapping him right now? Ye Qingshui lay frozen against my chest. We could both clearly feel each other's breathing. But before Ye Qingshui could even utter a single word, I spoke first. Can you hurry up and get off me? Those words dealt an absolute critical blow to her ego. She sneered. Why do you look so reluctant? Is hugging me really that miserable? I groaned. It's your damn high heel crushing my foot. It really hurts. Ye Qingshui finally realized she was actively stepping on my foot. Embarrassed, she quickly stepped back. Sorry, I didn't mean to. If sorry actually worked, why would we need the police? I shot back. Placing her hands on her hips, she glared at me. So what? You want compensation? Every debt has a debtor, I declared righteously. Since your high heel stepped on me, you can just compensate me by giving me the high heels. Ye Qingshui glared daggers at me. Don't even dream about it. Meanwhile, the cheap megaphone in my hand was still blaring on a loop. Why, King XU, do your best. Hurry up and turn that stupid thing off, Ye Qingshui hissed, completely exasperated. Soon, the second round of the finals officially commenced. The head judge spoke into the microphone. For this round, please compose a poem. You may choose one of 3 themes: rain, clouds, or meaning. You have 5 minutes to prepare. The male contestants stepped onto the stage one by one to recite their poems. Hearing the prompt, Ye Qingshui frowned. Asking someone to write a poem based on abstract imagery in just 5 minutes was an incredibly difficult task. Seeing Ye Qingshui's intense, focused expression, her roommate nudged her playfully. Worry about him. I'm praying he gets eliminated. Why? Her roommate asked, confused. Because his personality is way too submissive and insecure. If he actually gets on the show, he's just going to be mocked by everyone constantly. The roommate just smiled knowingly and stayed quiet. Soon, the 5 minutes were up. The contestants nervously recited the poems they had barely managed to piece together. After suffering through 5 agonizing minutes, the contestants managed to force out a few painfully awkward poems. Technically, they were poems, but the actual quality was completely unreadable. The judges' faces clearly showed extreme disappointment. By the time it was my turn to take the stage, the atmosphere in the venue was entirely dead. Everyone fully expected me to bomb just as badly. But just as I stood at the microphone, preparing to channel my emotions down in the audience, Yu Shui actually picked up my discarded megaphone. Using the exact same bizarre method I had used, she held it up and pressed the button. Lin Yi, do your best. Participation is what matters, because there's no way you're advancing. Holy crap, the guys in the crowd gasped. The goddess is actually treating Lin Yi so well. She even set him up with her roommate. Brothers, is Ye Shui's hidden message I don't like him? Obviously, if she actually liked Lin Yi, why would she introduce him to her roommate? Brothers, our chances have returned. Amidst the wildly oscillating expectations of the crowd, I flawlessly recited a highly vivid, perfectly themed limerick. A moment of clouds, a moment of passion. A moment of sweet rain moistening the fragrant forest. Fingers peeling the walnut, revealing its tender heart. Slowly loosening the plain robes to welcome the dawn. The moment the final line dropped, all the experienced veterans in the crowd were completely blown away. Holy crap, this guy is an absolute genius. The imagery is so rich. It leaves so much to the imagination. A masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece. If you understand it, go face the wall right now. Sitting in the audience, Ye Shui understood the hidden meaning of the poem perfectly. She furiously gritted her teeth. That absolute pervert. Unsurprisingly, I successfully advanced to the next round once again. The judges simply exchanged knowing glances, offering no formal commentary on the poem. Those who understood, understood. The moment I stepped off the stage, Ye Shui's cold voice immediately stopped me. Halt! I turned around. What is it now? Staring at me with an icy glare, she said, that poem of yours wasn't bad. It's quite obvious you have abundant life experience. I laughed cheerfully. Of course. Art comes from life, right? Ha ha! That single sentence completely pushed Ye Shui over the edge. You absolute pervert, she yelled furiously. I misjudged you. Without another word, Ye Shui spun around and stormed off, leaving me standing alone in the wind. As she walked away, Ye Shui fully expected Lin Yi to chase after her and desperately try to explain himself. But to her utter shock, he just stood there completely unbothered. This guy, is he seriously not even going to try and explain himself? Back at the dating show, the judges had asked me to compose a poem using the imagery of rain, clouds, and simple robes. Hearing the difficult prompt, everyone had urged me to just give up and walk off the stage. But to their absolute shock, the poem I recited next would completely blow their minds for the next 100 years. Holding the microphone, I had slowly begun. A moment of clouds, a moment of passion. A moment of sweet rain moistening the fragrant forest. Fingers peeling the walnut, revealing its tender heart, slowly loosening the plain robes to welcome the dawn. The moment the final line dropped, all the experienced veterans in the crowd were completely blown away. Holy crap, this guy is an absolute genius. The imagery is so rich, it leaves so much to the imagination. A masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece. If you understand it, go face the wall right now. Down in the audience, Ye Shui completely understood the hidden meaning of my limerick. She furiously gritted her teeth. That absolute pervert, unsurprisingly, I successfully advanced once again. The judges completely understood the joke. The moment I stepped off stage, Ye Shui's cold voice stopped me. Halt! I turned around. What's up? That poem of yours wasn't bad? She said coldly. But I haven't finished speaking. I laughed. Of course, art comes from life, haha. That single sentence completely pushed her over the edge. You absolute pervert. I misjudged you, she yelled. Without another word, she spun around and stormed off, leaving me standing alone in the wind. As she walked away, Ye Shui fully expected Lin Yi to chase after her and explain himself. But to her complete shock, Lin Yi didn't move an inch. This made Ye Shui feel even more suffocated with frustration. This guy, is he seriously not even going to try and explain himself? Just then, her beautiful roommate ran over. Shui, why are you getting angry so easily? I remember you always being such a calm person. Ye Shui suddenly turned her head. Xiaolan, do you think Lin Yi is a virgin? Her roommate gasped in pure shock. What? How would I know? I don't know him at all. That's his personal privacy. Ye Shui puffed her cheeks angrily. I actually thought he was an honest guy. I didn't expect him to be so full of dirty tricks. That poem just now proves everything. Her roommate burst into laughter. Shui, you're literally projecting onto Lin Yi as if he's your boyfriend. Usually girls only react this way if they find out their boyfriend isn't a virgin. Ye Shui panicked. Stop joking around. I am absolutely not projecting. Ye Qingshui couldn't find the right words, but she was genuinely infuriated. One poem doesn't prove anything, her roommate continued logically. From what I know, Lin Yi has been strung along by that manipulator Lu Rian this whole time. He literally hasn't had the chance to lose his virginity. Hearing that, Ye Qingshui suddenly realized she had been overthinking. She had completely misunderstood him. Xiaolan, she said quickly, come with me to apologize to him. Marching right up to me, Ye Qingshui stated, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry for calling you a pervert. Please don't be angry. I smiled warmly. It's fine, I didn't take it to heart. Your emotional stability is surprisingly strong, she noted softly. However, I continued smoothly, I only allow you to call me a pervert once. A second time is not permitted. Oh, and what if you do something perverted a second time? She challenged. Then you can call me your ghost husband. Hearing that cheesy line, Ye Qingshui couldn't help but roll her eyes. Putting her hands on her hips, she said, looks like you're actually pretty good at flirting. Thank you for the compliment, I grinned. Without missing a beat, Ye Qingshui reached out and pinched my arm hard. This highly playful interaction immediately sent the surrounding gossiping crowd into an absolute frenzy. Look, they're flirting again. Oh my god, it's only been one day, and he's already completely conquered Ye Qingshui. While some rejoiced, others despaired. Watching from the crowd, Lu Ruyan felt like a knife was twisting in her heart. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she screamed internally in pure agony. The snow drifts, the north wind blows. Soon the third round of the men's division began. The third round was a pure talent showcase. Singing, dancing, or even playing basketball were all acceptable. I really wanted to sing a song, but I didn't have a guitar. Just then, Ye Qingshui suddenly handed her own guitar straight to me. I looked at her in pure shock. How did you know I wanted a guitar? Ye Qingshui smiled confidently. We haven't known each other long, but I can read exactly what you're thinking. I don't believe that, I challenged. Staring right into her eyes, I smirked. Guess what I'm thinking about right now? Ye Qingshui held my gaze for exactly 1 second before playfully punching my shoulder. There's lust in your eyes. Your thoughts are impure, I gasped dramatically. Holy crap, you even guessed that. Ye Qingshui suddenly asked, are you confident about this round? Absolutely, I have to take first place so I can join the dating show and pick up the school goddess. Ye Qingshui's face instantly went cold. Can you have a little bit of ambition? I'm genuinely speechless. Why are you speechless? It's not like I'm trying to pick you up, I replied casually. Ye Qingshui puffed her cheeks angrily, completely unsure why she was so furious. Perhaps it was just a girl's natural competitive spirit acting up. Soon the host called my name. The moment I stepped onto the stage, the crowd erupted into a tsunami of applause. The fertilizer sack god of war's final battle. Let's go. Charge! Under the gaze of the entire venue, I began to soulfully play and sing the song, never asking for a return. As the gentle intro began, the venue instantly fell dead silent. It turns out, flowers do make a sound when they bloom, as long as you are walking through my life's journey. The song perfectly captured what it meant to love someone until you were reduced to dust. My voice struck straight into the depths of everyone's soul, leaving the entire faction of simps in the audience weeping openly. Soon, I pushed the song into its emotional climax, like the sun deeply falling for the snow, regardless of whether it understands. Ye Qingshui, listening to the lyrics, suddenly felt an overwhelming wave of sadness. She quietly left the crowd and went to the restroom alone. Looking at herself in the mirror, she saw that she was still breathtakingly beautiful. No one in the school could compare, but she didn't understand why. In this exact moment, she felt an inexplicable, crushing sense of defeat. Whenever she connected the deep, painful emotion of the song to my past feelings for Liu Rian, it made her feel absolutely miserable. But what she didn't know was that right as I finished singing, Liu Rian had run over to interrupt again. Even the most arrogant, icy school goddess had been deeply swayed by the song. Listening to the lyrics, Ye Qingshui had felt worse the longer she listened. Standing alone in the restroom, looking at her flawless reflection, she realized she was easily the most beautiful girl in the school. Yet she felt an overwhelming sense of defeat. Connecting the raw emotion of my performance to the girl I used to love, it made Ye Qingshui feel physically ill. Meanwhile, I had just finished my performance, successfully advancing to the dating show with a staggering 12,005 votes. But just as I stepped off the stage, Liu Ruyan appeared yet again. Walking toward me in a short skirt, her long legs immediately drew the crowd's attention. The audience immediately started booing. Why is this girl back again? Isn't she embarrassed? Coming back again and again. God of War, you have to hold the line. Don't let all your progress go to waste. Liu Rian looked at me with intense guilt. Lin Yi, when I heard that song, I finally realized how wrong I was. Can we please go back to how things used to be? I promise I'll agree to all your demands. Looking at her pitiful expression, I felt absolutely nothing. With a freezing cold tone, I replied, when you drive a nail into a wall and then pull it out, the hole is still there. So no, in this world there is no such thing as going back to how things used to be. Tears streamed down her face. Then do you hate me? If there is no love, where would the hate come from? That single sentence instantly awakened countless lovesick men and women in the crowd. It was true. Truly letting someone go wasn't about hate, it was about complete, utter indifference. Finally, Liu Rian wiped away her tears. I don't wish you happiness, but I wish you peace. Thank you, I replied politely, before immediately turning and walking away. Shortly after, Ye Qingshui approached me. You sang really well. The emotion was very raw. Thanks, I said, handing the guitar back. Your guitar plays beautifully. If you like, I can carry it back to your dorm for you. It's no trouble. Really? She asked softly. I never lie, I smiled. Then I will respectfully accept your offer. Want to grab a late-night snack together? I really want to hear the story behind that song. No can do, I rejected her instantly. The dorms lock up at 10:30 p.m. I'm worried I won't make it back in time. Yi Qingshui was utterly speechless. She hadn't even said anything inappropriate, yet I was already worrying about my curfew. The surrounding eavesdroppers were grinding their teeth in pure fury. This guy is such an oblivious straight man. The goddess is practically throwing herself at him, and he just rejects her? The emperor isn't anxious, but the eunuchs are dying of stress. You guys can't even get her contact info, yet you have the nerve to laugh at him? Ye Qingshui hadn't expected to be rejected so bluntly either. It honestly made her start doubting her own charm. But right then, the production team decided to throw another curveball. They announced an extra tiebreaker round for the men's division. I had to compete in a live streaming popularity contest against a top-tier pretty boy who already had 1 million followers. Hearing this absolutely ridiculous rule, my expression darkened slightly. But a true powerhouse never blames their environment. Ye Qingshui tried again. Are you sure you don't want to get that snack? We can definitely make it back before 10:30. I'm not like you, I replied. You already advanced safely. I still have this final tiebreaker round. I can't afford to slack off now. Do you really want to join this dating show that badly? She asked in frustration. Of course, I'm going to join the show, date a goddess, and reach the absolute peak of my life. Ha ha ha. Ye Qingshui puffed her cheeks angrily. Does our school not have any goddesses? A smart rabbit doesn't eat the grass near its own burrow, I replied casually. I definitely can't date someone from my own school. Otherwise, if we break up, it'll be way too awkward seeing each other around campus. You're infuriating. You haven't even started dating and you're already planning the breakup. You absolute scumbag. Don't call me a scumbag, I laughed. I might just start acting like one. Yi Qingshui raised her fist to punch me, but I turned and bolted, disappearing in a flash. The onlookers were seething with absolute rage. What a bastard. How dare he make the goddess angry like that? Unacceptable. Tonight, I'm going to turn into his biggest hater. I'm going to camp in his live stream and spam hate comments. Her roommate sighed. Schwer, I've noticed something. You two can never talk for more than 10 sentences without starting an argument. Yi Qingshui took a deep breath. That guy literally makes my chest hurt from anger. Returning to the dorm, I began brainstorming desperately. Just as I was trying to figure out what kind of entertaining gimmick I could pull off for the live stream, the system, which had been silent for 5 whole chapters, suddenly popped up. The problem is, I don't know the first thing about appraising antiques, I argued. I grinned. How incredibly considerate. All right then, let's get set up. I immediately pulled out my trusty fertilizer sack and started digging through it to see if there was anything I could use to decorate the background. Digging around, I suddenly pulled out the pink trash bag I had collected from Ye Qingshui's dorm. My Adam's apple bobbed involuntarily. Damn it. Being alone in the dorm with this, who could resist? Not long after, Ye Qingshui suddenly called me. Hearing me panting heavily into the receiver, she asked, highly suspicious, Lin Yi, what exactly are you doing? I'm working out, exercising, what's up? Ye Qingshui smiled softly. You're actually pretty disciplined. Of course. If a man isn't disciplined, he'll get solo killed by an ant the moment he steps outside. Anyway, I can't talk long. I'm almost there. Almost where? What are you talking about? I mean, I'm almost at 1,000 push-ups. I quickly corrected. What did you say? I said I'm almost at 1,000 push-ups. All right. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Meanwhile, the beautiful roommate asked, Lin Yi is competing against that famous pretty boy in a live stream tonight. Shuer, how are you going to watch? Ye Qingshui laughed. How else would I watch? Her roommate quickly searched up my live stream. Seeing only a couple dozen viewers in the room, she gasped. Oh my god, Lin Yi is so pitiful. Nobody is supporting him. Ye Qingshui leaned over. Then why aren't you sending him some gifts? Right. Okay. Despite the fact that I was competing against a 1 million follower idol, my live stream was about to make the school goddess furiously jealous. Because my live stream callers weren't going to be ordinary people, they were going to be youthful idols and top-tier mature beauties. Not only would my viewers love it, even Ye Qingshui's roommate would be hooked. When I first started the stream, the viewership was painfully low, but slowly, it climbed to about 200 or 300 people. The chat started cheering me on. I looked into the camera and announced, today's program is live antique appraisal with our viewers. No need to send gifts, we're all broke brothers here. Just request a video call. Staring confidently into the lens, I declared, all right, friends, our live appraisal stream officially begins. All right, let's connect our next caller, I announced smoothly. The screen connected, and I immediately greeted, hello, how are you? From the other end came an incredibly deliberate, high-pitched, aggressively sweet anime girl voice. Little brother Tilda. The sheer force of that artificially sweet cutesy voice almost knocked me right out of my chair. I had to admit, the system's matchmaking algorithm was absolutely ruthless. My entire live stream chat instantly jolted awake. Holy crap, that voice. It's a cutesy girl, streamer. Hurry up and tell her to turn her camera on. I'm a professional appraiser based purely on the vocal timbre that is 100% a genuine lowly. I paused for a few seconds to compose myself before maintaining a professional tone. Hello, miss? Is it convenient for you to turn on your camera? I can help appraise your treasure. Of course, little brother Tilda, she replied sweetly. The camera flickered on, but unfortunately all it showed was a plain wooden desk. A delicate hand reached into the frame, placing a jade bracelet on the surface. Her sugary voice cooed again. Brother Tilda, could you please take a look at this bracelet for me, Tilda? Being called brother in that voice would have instantly sent most ordinary men to the afterlife. But thankfully, my mental fortitude was incredibly strong. Keeping a completely straight face, I said, no problem, this appears to be a jade bracelet. However, the lighting is a bit poor, could you adjust it? Okay, brother. Tilda, I'll turn on a little lamp for you, Tilda. After the light clicked on, she asked, how's that? Can you see it clearly now? Still not quite right, I replied professionally. How about this? Follow my instructions, pick up the bracelet and hold it against a reference point. That way I can see the true color and texture much more clearly. Okay, Tilda. Like a perfectly obedient student, the girl picked up the bracelet. Under my highly specific directions, she began searching for the optimal background. Move it a bit lower, a little more to the right. Ah yes, perfect. Right there. After a series of extremely precise adjustments, brothers, I am an expert in audiovisual forensics. I guarantee this woman is incredibly beautiful. Streamer, make her show her face. Ignoring the chaotic comments, I adopted a highly solemn expression and scolded the chat. Everyone, please stop spamming nonsense. This is a strictly professional, highly respectable antique appraisal stream. Please keep the chat positive and purely focused on the artifacts. I then turned my attention back to the caller. All right, friend, could you find a spot with better lighting? I need to examine the treasure closely. The older woman let out a soft, sultry laugh. I understand you want me to put it on my thigh, right? Ahem, I coughed awkwardly. Well, anywhere is fine, really. Then I'll just put it on my thigh, she purred. However, her background remained entirely black. Can you see the coin clearly now? Extremely clear, I said, leaning in. Hold still. Let me take a very close look at this copper coin. The woman's voice dripped with charm. Take your time, handsome little brother. Look as closely as you need to. At that exact moment, the live stream chat exploded with frantic messages. Zhang Zilong, stop watching. Your mom is calling you home for dinner. Da Sha Chun, what the hell do you think you're doing? I'll be right back in 1 minute, brothers. Meanwhile, back in the girls' dormitory, Ye Qingxue was practically hopping mad. She honestly didn't understand why she was getting so furiously angry, but watching Lin Yi stare at other girls' legs made her want to punch a wall. Swear, don't be mad, her roommate pleaded again. It's just for the stream. Are you sure it's for the stream and not his true perverted feelings? Ye Qingxue snapped. Just look at his numbers, her roommate pointed out. His viewer count is already over 1 million, and he's got way more likes than the campus idol he's competing against. Back on the stream, I was still engaged in a tense standoff with the mature caller. Miss, could you slide the coin up and down slightly? I need to observe its texture under shifting light. The woman smoothly slid the coin up and down against her black silk stockings. Every single slide was practically scraping directly across the fragile hearts of the thousands of men watching. Just as the audience was completely losing their minds, I suddenly clapped my hands together. All right, miss, I've seen enough. This ancient coin appears to be a Xianfeng Dang Chen. Its market value should be around 50,000 to 200,000 yuan. The older woman giggled seductively. Thank you, handsome little brother. Is it convenient to add your contact info? I smiled politely. I apologize, but I don't casually give out my contact information to strangers. Not even to a beautiful woman, she teased. No, I replied firmly. All right, miss. I wish you a wonderful life. Goodbye. And with that, I decisively hung up on the stunningly attractive woman in black silk. In the girls' dorm, the roommate practically screamed in excitement. Shuer! See? I told you it was just for the stream. Lin Yi completely rejected that black silk lady's advances. His willpower is incredible. By this point, Ye Qingxue could no longer suppress the massive, triumphant smile spreading across her face, though she tried to play it cool with a simple, Shuer, you look so cute when you're happy, her roommate squealed. Come here, let me pinch your cheeks. Ye Qingxue instinctively leaned back. What are you doing? My completely unexpected move of maintaining strict professionalism and rejecting the gorgeous woman had miraculously salvaged the situation. Watching me interact with the caller had made the school goddess furiously jealous, but seeing me shut her down instantly replaced her anger with an absolute radiant smile. Feeling incredibly happy, Ye Qingxue immediately decided to reward me. She opened the gift menu. Suddenly, a massive screen-shaking super rocket exploded across the screen. Seeing the massive donation, I quickly smiled and said, "Thank you to our rank 1 supporter, Little Male Demon, for the super rocket. Thank you, boss. You're too generous. Wishing the boss smooth sailing, massive fortune, and a royal flush every hand. Hearing my exaggerated gratitude, Yiqing Shui couldn't help but giggle softly in her dorm. Her roommate nudged her. Schwer, how does it feel being the top donator? Yiqing Shui tried desperately to hide her smile. It's all right, I guess. Haha. By now, many people in the chat had already recognized Yiqing Shui's account name. The chat completely exploded. Holy crap, the top donator is the school goddess Yiqing Shui. Oh my god. Are they actually a couple? I knew it! They've been acting suspicious this whole time. They're totally just flexing their relationship on us. Seeing the chat going wild, I quickly formulated a new segment. Addressing the 50,000 plus viewers now watching, I announced, alright friends, that concludes our free antique appraisal segment. For the next portion, I will be taking random callers to discuss relationship and emotional issues. Feel free to speak your mind. The moment the words left my mouth, hundreds of people instantly queued up for a video call. I honestly hadn't expected them to be this enthusiastic. Thankfully, the system was already automatically filtering and selecting the perfect callers. All right, let's welcome our first friend. I smiled warmly. Hello. What relationship issue would you like to discuss? The first caller was a young man. He was incredibly polite, immediately calling me big brother as soon as he connected. There's no need to be so formal. I laughed kindly. Just relax and share your story. Big brother, the young man choked up, remaining silent for a few long seconds. Sensing the gravity of the situation, I sat up straight, my expression turning entirely serious. Brother, don't panic. Take your time. Taking a shaky breath, the young man finally spoke. I really truly love her. We've been together day and night for the past 2 years. In countless moments of sorrow and pain, she was the one by my side. But my family completely disapproves. They want me to give her up. Streamer, what should I do? This age-old, incredibly painful dilemma honestly left me momentarily stumped. The chat immediately flooded with sympathetic messages. Brother, you're a real man. Sending you a virtual cigarette. After thinking carefully for half a minute, I replied sincerely. Brother, true empathy is impossible in this world. I can only try my best to see things from your perspective. But I believe that when a man comes into this world, he has responsibilities. Responsibility to his family, responsibility to those around him, and most importantly, responsibility to himself. You need to ask yourself what kind of life you truly want. You've been with her for 2 years, and you've been happy. If she becomes your wife, can the two of you support each other for the next 20, 30 years? Do you understand what I'm saying? The young man sniffled. I understand, streamer. I think I should just follow my family's wishes. Hearing that, my heart sank. It was always incredibly tragic to watch two people who loved each other be forced apart by circumstance, but just a second later, the young man's next sentence completely shattered my entire worldview. I've decided to listen to my family, he declared firmly. I'm going to release my inflatable girlfriend right now. Holy crap, I shouted, completely losing my professional composure. I curse your monkey. I poured my heart out to you and you were hiding a punchline the whole time. The young man burst into hysterical laughter. Streamer, your advice was top tier. Wishing you great fortune. Bye. And with that, he instantly disconnected. The chat completely lost its mind. I'm dead. I'm literally dying. I can't breathe. This stream is pure gold. Streamer, are you trying to make me laugh to death so you can inherit my half-eaten box of chocolates? I totally thought the guy was crying, but he was actually just holding in his laughter. In the girls' dorm, Yiqing Shui was laughing so hard her stomach hurt. I actually feel a little bad for Lin Yi now. Haha, back on stream, I took a deep, calming breath. All right, brothers, let's try this again. And please, I am a serious streamer. Keep it professional. This time, the caller was another man. Before we even began, I immediately asked, Brother, let me be very clear. Is your girlfriend a real, living human being? Yes, streamer, the second caller replied earnestly. The girl I like is 3 years older than me. We have deep mutual feelings for each other, and everything is wonderful. That sounds great. So what's the problem? Does her family disapprove too? I'm just really sad, he sighed. Putting on my most serious face, I advised, brother, first you need to analyze why her family disapproves. Is it because your education level is too low, or maybe your income isn't high enough? I just graduated college, and my current annual salary is around 200,000 yuan, he replied. Holy crap, that's incredibly impressive, I praised. Honestly, making 200K right out of college is amazing. You shouldn't be letting relationship troubles bring you down. But I just love her so much, he groaned. I'm crazy about her. Then tell me, I pressed. Why exactly does her family disapprove? There has to be a specific reason. Her husband disapproves, the man replied casually. Thank you. Once again, my brain completely blue-screened. I wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Wait, bro? Her husband disapproves? You're in love with someone else's wife. The man tried to suppress his laughter. Yeah, streamer. Is that not allowed? You are an absolute legend, I muttered, utterly defeated. Brother, all I can say is good luck. The chat erupted into even louder laughter than before. These two callers are the crouching tiger and hidden dragon of comedy. This is a masterpiece, but just as I was wallowing in the depression of being completely trolled twice in a row, the screen suddenly exploded with notifications. I blinked in surprise. Oh my, looks like a rich lady has arrived. A female user with the ID Deep Kiss had just rapidly fired off 10 super rockets in a row, instantly knocking Ye Ching Shui out of the rank 1 donator spot. I immediately broke into a massive smile. Thank you, boss. Wishing the boss smooth sailing, incredible fortune, and someone to cherish you morning and night. Wishing you endless food, endless clothes, and an upgrade from a flat to a high-rise. While thanking her profusely, I discreetly tapped on the Deep Kiss profile picture. Black silk, long legs, and a tight skirt. Tusk, tusk, I thought to myself. My instincts tell me this is a domineering female CEO. At that exact moment, Ye Ching Shui was staring at the barrage of super rockets on her screen. Who is this person? Her roommates gasped. Are they from our school? I don't care who she is, Ye Ching Shui declared fiercely. Nobody steals my rank 1 spot, and just like that, the school goddess entered into a brutal financial war with the mysterious female CEO. She instantly retaliated with a barrage of 10 super rockets of her own. I had barely finished thanking the CEO when 10 more rockets from Ye Ching Shui blasted across the screen. I was completely dumbfounded. Why wasn't it stopping? The chat was losing its absolute mind. Holy crap. The school goddess Ye Ching Shui is throwing down. I knew she was secretly watching. If I were Lin Yi, I would ascend to heaven right now out of sheer happiness. Being fought over by two goddesses with giant donations, I wouldn't even dare to dream of something like this. Pfft, I dare to dream it. As Ye Ching Shui reclaimed the top spot, I quickly announced, "Thank you once again to our rank 1 little male demon." But realizing the situation was getting out of hand, I quickly addressed the 50,000 viewers. However, I must remind everyone in the chat, please spend rationally. The most important thing is that we're all having fun, okay? But the second those words left my mouth, another apocalyptic wave of premium gifts rained down from the heavens. A massive, majestic azure dragon materialized on the screen, letting out a deafening roar that literally made my phone physically vibrate. I was completely shocked. I never expected that my simple, low-budget livestream would become the battleground for a brutal turf war between a mysterious female billionaire and the absolute pinnacle of school beauty. Just when I thought Ye Ching Shui's 50 super rockets had secured her dominance, the wealthy CEO simply smirked and unleashed the ultimate move. An azure dragon descended from the sky directly into the stream. The sound of the dragon's roar instantly rendered tens of thousands of viewers completely paralyzed with awe. Good lord, I gasped internally. This gift effect is so intense it's shaking my actual phone. That single azure dragon cost tens of thousands of yuan. Ye Ching Shui had just slammed headfirst into an absolute titan of wealth. Knowing Ye Ching Shui's personality, I knew she absolutely would not back down. And while I certainly loved money, I wasn't about to exploit their rivalry to drain their bank accounts. So, without hesitation, I decisively disabled the livestream's donation feature entirely. Back in the dorm, Ye Ching Shui was just about to click purchase on another barrage of rockets when the button suddenly vanished. Her roommate gasped, "Oh my god, Shui. Lin Yi actually turned off the donations. He is being so incredibly considerate of you." The other girls nodded furiously. "Yeah, Shui. A guy who protects your wallet like that is truly worth depending on." In that moment, Ye Ching Shui's frustrated heart melted into a warm puddle. She smiled softly. "Whatever. I'll just transfer the money directly to his account." Her roommate immediately grabbed her hand. "Shui, stop. Are you crazy? Are you completely love-struck?" Hearing that, Ye Ching Shui finally snapped back to reality. She had genuinely been consumed by a wave of reckless competitive emotion. "Shui," another roommate said seriously, "if you really like him this much, you absolutely cannot let him go on that dating show. If he joins that show, you're just throwing him into a pit of hungry wolves." Ye Ching Shui smiled with absolute confidence. "What is there to be afraid of? I'm going to be on that show too. Look," a roommate suddenly pointed at the screen. "He's using your guitar." It was true. As the stream neared its end, I decided to close it out with a song. And not just any song, but a devastatingly emotional classic. Those Fleeting Years. Hugging Ye Ching Shui's guitar, I looked deeply into the camera at the tens of thousands of viewers. "All right, friends," I said softly. "It's getting late. I'll sing one final song, and then everyone should get some sleep." The moment I announced the end of the stream, the chat erupted into agonizing wails. "Streamer, don't leave. I want to watch you appraise more antiques. Yeah, take more relationship callers. Watching your stream for 3 minutes cured my 30-year depression. I don't want to listen to a song. Let me reiterate, I do not want to listen to a song. Just talk to us." They desperately wanted me to keep the ridiculous talk show going all night. "I don't want to listen to a song. Please stream all night." The chat was desperately begging me to keep the ridiculous talk show going all night. But I believed that leaving things slightly unfinished was always the best way to keep people wanting more. I briefly tuned the guitar and spoke softly into the microphone. "All right, those fleeting years. Dedicated to all of you." The moment the melancholic intro began to play, an identical wave of sorrow washed over every single viewer in the livestream. None of them had ever heard a performance at this level before. It was an absolute shock to their auditory senses. We've experienced those fleeting years over and over. What exactly did we say that even after saying goodbye we still lingered? It's a pity that asking who truly loved who isn't a passionate debate to be won. Very quickly, I pushed the song toward its emotional climax. If we meet again, can we do it without red eyes? Will you still be the same? Will you still blush? Just like those fleeting, laughable years, so beautifully radiant, always together. If the past is still worth longing for, the guitar gently faded out. Every single person in the stream was deeply affected by the haunting melody of those fleeting years. Streamer, that was incredible. It made me think of my first love. The streamer is definitely a man with a story. Please sing one more. Over in the girls' dormitory, Ye Qingshui's roommates were completely moved to tears. Xiao Lan wiped her eyes, sniffling, "Oh my god." Lin Yi's singing is way too emotional. In contrast to her crying roommates, Ye Qingshui's expression remained completely cold and detached. Noticing this, Xiao Lan looked over in surprise. "Shuer, aren't you sad? I haven't even had my first love yet. Why would I be sad?" Ye Qingshui replied blankly. "Liar. You're just holding back your inner sorrow, aren't you?" "Absolutely not," Ye Qingshui insisted stubbornly. "I am not affected by Lin Yi in the slightest. Men do not control my emotions." Back on stream, I prepared to log off. But right before hitting the button, I suddenly remembered something. I leaned into the microphone. "Before I go, I want to dedicate this song to one specific person." The chat instantly assumed I was about to thank my ex-girlfriend. Even Ye Qingshui thought the exact same thing. In reality, Ye Qingshui had just lied to her roommates. Listening to the song had definitely made her chest feel incredibly tight and suffocating. But she wasn't sad about her own non-existent first love, but in the next second, I smoothly dropped her name. I want to give a special thanks to a friend, Ye Qingshui, because the guitar I'm holding right now belongs to her. If it wasn't for this guitar, I wouldn't have been able to sing for all of you tonight. Hearing her name suddenly broadcast to tens of thousands of people, Ye Qingshui's heart leaped into her throat. She quickly turned to Xiao Lan, completely flustered. "Wait, did Lin Yi just thank me?" Xiao Lan wiped a tear and nodded. "Yes, I heard it. Haha, I knew it. This kid definitely knows how to score points. Shuer, I thought you said you weren't affected by him," another roommate teased. Ye Qingshui tried desperately to maintain her cool facade. "I'm not affected. Oh, please, give you a firework and you'd be happy enough to fly to the moon right now." "Stop talking nonsense." Ye Qingshui blushed fiercely. "Be careful. I'll sue you for slander." After thanking Ye Qingshui, I officially ended the live stream. My phone had been broadcasting for over an hour and was completely out of battery. I plugged it in, climbed into bed, and immediately fell into a deep sleep. Meanwhile, back in the girls' dorm, Ye Qingshui was feeling completely unsatisfied. She desperately wanted to hear me sing more. Her roommate, easily seeing through her thoughts, purposefully teased her. "Shuer, there's absolutely no suspense about Lin Yi advancing now. Aren't you going to call him and congratulate him?" Her pride acting up, Ye Qingshui whispered, "No. I don't like being too proactive. If you aren't proactive, aren't you afraid that mysterious rich CEO Deep Kiss will call him instead? She just threw tens of thousands of yuan at him, you know?" That single sentence instantly made Ye Qingshui anxious. Grabbing her phone, she paced out onto the balcony. After hesitating for a long time, she finally hit the call button. But to her absolute dismay, the call didn't even go through. The phone was turned off. It was the first time Ye Qingshui had ever felt this incredibly anxious. A few minutes later, she returned to the dorm room, looking completely defeated. "Done already?" her roommate asked gently. Nobody answered. Ye Qingshui huffed. "If a call isn't answered the first time, I never call a second time. I'm going to sleep." But lying in bed, Ye Qingshui tossed and turned, completely unable to fall asleep. Her heart was trapped in a chaotic whirlwind of frustrating thoughts. The melody of those fleeting years echoed endlessly in her mind. She couldn't stop wondering exactly who it was that I still couldn't forget. After wrestling with herself for a long time, she quietly decided to make one more call. Sneaking her phone out from under her pillow, she pressed dial. Suddenly, her roommate ripped the blanket clean off her. "Shuer, are you secretly rewarding yourself?" Just because she couldn't reach me on the phone, the school goddess suffered from insomnia the entire night. Completely anxious, she ran straight to my dorm building the next morning and started camping outside. 2.5 hours later, I finally walked out of the building. Instantly, an incredibly cold voice rang out from nearby. "Lin Yi, why didn't you answer my calls last night?" Standing a short distance away was Ye Qingshui, looking absolutely stunning in a flowing dress. Her overwhelming dominant aura would have made any normal person too afraid to even look at her. But of course, I wasn't a normal person. Walking right up to her, she glared at me with deep resentment. I looked her up and down, admiring the dress, and smiled. "You dressed up so nicely today. Are you going on a date?" "Who wants to go on a date with you?" she snapped defensively. "I just wanted to know what you were doing last night after you went offline. Why didn't you answer my calls?" Her tone sounded exactly like a furious girlfriend interrogating her boyfriend. I chuckled. "Is it because you specifically came all the way out here early in the morning just to see me, and even dressed up this pretty?" Ye Qingshui's face flushed with guilt. "I absolutely did not. I was just walking by and happened to see you, so I came over to ask. Right at that moment, her beautiful roommate suddenly popped out from behind a tree. Lin Yi, don't listen to her nonsense. She's been camping out here waiting for you for 2.5 hours. Ye Qingxue immediately whipped her head around. Shut up, you traitor. I laughed it off and explained smoothly. My phone died last night, so it shut off. If it died, couldn't you charge it? My phone is absolute garbage, I sighed. It has to charge all the way to 100% before it can even turn back on. Yi Qingxue was utterly speechless. Let's go. I'm taking you to get a new phone. I'm not dealing with you disappearing when I try to call you. I grinned widely. Are you serious? I haven't done anything to deserve that. Why are you buying me a phone? Don't tell me you're actually after my body. Let me tell you right now, no way. I am a college student with strict moral principles. You're overthinking it. I'm buying you a phone purely out of pity. My compassion is simply overflowing today. Oh, so that's how it is, I teased. All right then, if you insist, I suppose I'll reluctantly accept your kindness. Seeing that I didn't refuse, Yi Qingxue smiled in satisfaction and gestured for me to follow. Let's go. Having successfully dragged me out, we walked side by side down the tree-lined campus path in the crisp morning air. As we walked, I suddenly squatted down. What are you doing? She asked. Tying my shoe. I stood up, took exactly 2 steps, and then squatted back down, tying my shoe again. Ye Qingxue looked at me, completely annoyed. Can you seriously not tie a knot properly? I'll do it. She aggressively squatted down, swatted my hands away, and proceeded to tie my shoelaces into an impossibly tight, dead knot. I looked at the knot awkwardly. Why did you tie a dead knot? Because this way, they'll never come undone again, she replied proudly. I was genuinely baffled by her logic. Well, thanks a lot. Now I can't even take them off. She stood up, dusting off her hands. You're welcome. I could only sigh in absolute defeat. Honestly, the only reason I kept bending over to tie my shoes was because I wanted an excuse to look at her legs. It was that simple. But who could have predicted she would just brutally tie my shoes into a permanent dead knot? The campus was massive, and we chatted easily as we walked. We were actually getting along pretty well. Ye Qingxue would occasionally let out sweet, genuine laughs. It was a crisp, clear sound, completely devoid of any fake cutesy pretense. But amidst our banter, I accidentally stepped right onto a landmine. Why don't you ever wear stockings? I asked casually. Your legs are perfect for them. You'd look amazing. I don't like wearing them, she replied quickly. Liar, I scoffed. Last time I checked your trash, you had tons of used pantyhose in there. Gray ones, fishnets, you name it. Haha. The next second, Ye Qingxue stopped dead in her tracks. Slowly turning her head, she stared at me with an absolutely terrifying, freezing glare. So, you're saying you opened that plastic bag I gave you? A sudden chill shot straight down my spine. I swallowed hard and immediately tried to pivot. Hey, look at the time. We need to go get that phone. But Ye Qingxue continued to glare daggers into my soul. We are talking about my stockings right now. Do not change the subject to the phone. Realizing I was cornered, I suddenly reached out and completely covered her eyes with my hands, chanting frantically, forget it, forget it, forget it. That instantly triggered Ye Qingxue's berserk mode. She chased me down the path, shouting furiously, Lin Yi, you get back here right now. If you don't explain exactly what you saw, I am never speaking to you again. Running ahead of her, I yelled back arrogantly, I, Lin, do whatever I please. Why should I explain myself to you? Eventually, we both ran out of breath and called a temporary truce. While we were waiting for the subway, Ye Qingxue glared at me. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll let this go for now. But let me give you some advice. Stop indulging in low-level desires. If you keep sinking like this, you're going to ruin yourself. If I keep sinking, I'll just keep being happy. Haha. Ye Qingxue rolled her eyes in pure exhaustion. You are completely hopeless. After that, we boarded the subway and headed straight for a mobile phone store, 20 kilometers away. The moment we walked in, Ye Qingxue aggressively declared, pick whatever you want. I grinned. Why does this suddenly feel like I'm a sugar baby? I don't mind if you act tough while eating soft rice. She smirked. Wait a minute. I narrowed my eyes suspiciously. Why are you suddenly being so nice to me? Do you have an ulterior motive? Oh, tell me, she challenged. What exactly would I want from you? Well, I'm guessing it's either my handsome face or my incredible physique, I replied confidently. Ye Qingxue burst into laughter. Neither. Holy crap, I gasped in mock horror. Are you planning to steal my kidneys? Ye Qingxue almost choked on her laugh. This guy was just completely unhinged. Soon, I picked out a sleek new phone. To test the camera quality, I immediately pointed it at Ye Qingxue. Excuse me, supermodel. Could you step forward, turn around, and give me a smile? Thank you. Hearing me call her a supermodel, she actually decided to play along and put down her icy facade. She even struck a few highly professional poses for me. After snapping a few shots, I nodded approvingly. The camera is incredible. I'll take this one. Let me see the pictures, Ye Qingxue demanded eagerly. Never mind, you don't want to see them, I deflected. My photography skills are pretty bad. It's fine, I don't mind. The more I refused, the more desperately she wanted to see them. Finally, she put her hands on her hips and practically ordered me. Give it here. Feeling genuinely cornered, I nervously handed the phone over. This girl was relentlessly stubborn. Ye Shui eagerly opened the gallery, but a second later her face completely froze. You absolute pervert, you were just taking pictures of my legs this whole time. I was just testing if this camera had a long lead filter. I quickly defended myself. And the results? Do you think my legs are long enough? She asked, her voice dangerously calm. The results clearly prove that your legs absolutely do not need any filters. I replied with utmost sincerity. Hearing that perfect compliment, her anger instantly vanished. She decided to let me off the hook one more time. At the checkout counter, Ye Shui paid for the incredibly expensive phone without a second thought. The saleswoman smiled warmly. Handsome, your girlfriend treats you so well. You really need to cherish her. Ye Shui flushed bright red and quickly explained. I'm not his girlfriend. The saleswoman looked confused but quickly apologized. I am so sorry. May I ask, are you two friends then? Without thinking, Ye Shui blurted out. I'm his sugar mommy. I immediately nodded with a polite smile, perfectly playing along. Yes, this is my little mommy. Our synergy was flawless. We both slipped instantly into character. Seizing the opportunity to show off my acting skills, I pointed at a display case. Little mommy, I think that watch looks really nice too. Can you buy it for me? Ye Shui smiled sweetly. Are you going to be obedient? Of course I'll be obedient, I promised earnestly. If you're obedient, she continued smoothly, then we aren't buying it. A few minutes later, we walked out of the store. I had literally told the school goddess to her face that I was going to be her daddy, and instead of getting angry, she had happily played along and called herself my sugar mommy. Leaving the store, Ye Shui couldn't stop giggling. To her, spending a bunch of money on a phone in exchange for a top-tier comedy partner was an absolute steal. I felt slightly shortchanged, but whatever. Since she had just bought me an expensive phone, I was willing to take a small loss in the banter department. Just as I was getting ready to head back, Ye Shui suddenly grabbed my arm. Let's go. Mommy is taking you to eat something delicious. All right, you've had your fun for the night, I said seriously. That's enough. Ye Shui laughed. Wow, the second you get the phone, you instantly turn your back on me? A person shouldn't constantly take advantage of others, I replied philosophically. Why don't we switch roles? Switch roles? What do you mean? I looked her dead in the eye and stated plainly. I want to be your daddy. The moment the words left my mouth, Ye Shui was utterly stunned. This was the very first time in her life anyone had ever dared to say something like that to her face. Recovering quickly, she smiled with genuine amusement. Do you even know how to be a competent father? Of course I do. The most important duty of a father is companionship. I will accompany you as you grow up, and you will accompany me as I grow old. The moment I said the word companionship, Ye Shui's expression subtly shifted. Sensing the sudden change in her emotional state, I immediately backpedaled. Never mind, we don't have to play this game. Let's just go. But in the next second, Ye Shui suddenly agreed. She smiled softly. All right, I accept. From this moment on, you are my daddy. I want to see if you actually have what it takes, or if you just all talk. I grinned in absolute victory. Perfect. Then call me daddy right now so I can really get into character. Ye Shui hesitated, her cheeks flushing slightly. I can't say it. Just then, I remembered something crucial. Come with me. We're going to buy some new clothes. Once I'm dressed the part, you'll definitely be able to say it. What kind of clothes do you need? She asked, thoroughly confused. A daddy needs to look like a daddy, I declared. I'm going to buy a polo shirt. The moment we walked into a high-end menswear store, I politely approached the staff. Hello, I'm looking for a very mature, distinguished outfit. I'm pivoting to the sugar daddy aesthetic. The saleswoman smiled professionally. Certainly, sir. You can look at our suits over here. They're all very mature. I'll get straight to the point, I interrupted. Do you have polo shirts? The saleswoman looked completely bewildered. We do, but you're so young. Are you sure you want to wear a polo shirt? I'm trying to skip 10 years of detours, I replied sagely. The saleswoman was left completely paralyzed by my groundbreaking fashion philosophy. Standing nearby, Ye Shui was desperately trying to hold in her laughter. I glared at her. What are you laughing at? Show some respect. I am your father now. Finally, with the saleswoman's help, I completely overhauled my wardrobe. I had to admit, the new outfit drastically transformed my entire aura. Stepping out of the store, I puffed out my chest and looked at Ye Shui. All right. Now can you call me daddy? Ye Shui's face turned bright red. Can I just not call you that? Are you a sore loser? I challenged. Ye Shui remained silent for several long seconds before finally muttering, I just can't say it. Let's go. Seeing her refuse, I simply crossed my arms and planted my feet firmly on the ground, admiring my rebellious daughter. Noticing I wasn't following, Ye Shui turned back. Are you coming or not? If you're not coming, I'm leaving. I remained completely motionless. Today, I was fully committed to this standoff. Soon, Ye Shui disappeared from my line of sight, but exactly 1 minute later, she suddenly reappeared right beside me and mumbled, Daddy, I want to drink milk tea. I instantly burst into satisfied laughter. Now that's more like it. All right, the father-daughter bonding experience officially begins. At that exact moment, a system notification chimed in my head. Binding parenting system providing sufficient fatherly love to the host's daughter will reward merit points. Merit points can be accumulated to purchase lottery scratch-off tickets. Hearing that, my energy levels skyrocketed. Noticing my sudden massive grin, Ye Qingshui asked, "Are you really that happy about this?" "Of course. I just became a patriarch. I have every reason to be thrilled." Ye Qingshui chuckled softly to herself. She just thought she was playing along with a silly joke, but I was taking it incredibly seriously. Arriving at the milk tea shop, I immediately waved my hand generously. "Daughter, order whatever you want." "Daddy's paying." Yi Qingshui cringed in profound embarrassment. "Can you please be a little quieter when you call me that?" "Why should I be quiet? I have such an incredibly perfect daughter. Why shouldn't I show her off?" Unwilling to argue further, Yi Qingshui quickly turned to the barista. "One fresh milk tea. Extra ice, extra sugar, please." "Hold on." I immediately intervened, blocking the barista. For her order, absolutely no ice and no extra sugar. Just the original flavor. Yi Qingshui smacked my arm. "What are you doing?" "Girls shouldn't drink too much cold stuff," I lectured her seriously. "It'll make your stomach hurt when your time of the month comes." Yi Qingshui was utterly speechless. She never expected me to instantly embody the overbearing, controlling father figure so perfectly. Letting out a long, exhausted sigh, she told the barista, "Just do what he said. Listen to him." The barista stared at us, having completely deduced that we were playing some bizarre roleplay game. As a background NPC, the barista could only silently process the absurdity of the situation. Leaving the shop with our drinks, I firmly grabbed Ye Qingshui's hand. "Come on, daughter. Daddy's taking you to the bouncy castle." Ye Qingshui blushed deeply. "I'm wearing a skirt. How am I supposed to play in a bouncy castle? Stop messing around. Let's just go somewhere else." I looked down at her dress, furrowing my brow in deep parental concern. "You're right. That's completely inappropriate." Instantly switching into strict dad mode, I scolded, "Who told you to wear a skirt this short in the first place?" Ye Qingshui stammered awkwardly. "All dresses are like this. It's not even that short." "Let's go," I declared firmly. "I'm taking you to buy pants." "I really don't think that's necessary." "I don't care what you think. I care what I think." Without hesitation, I dragged Ye Qingshui straight into a trendy streetwear boutique. Gesturing grandly at the racks, I announced, "Pick whatever you want." Yi Qingshui laughed. "Are you serious? You're being this generous?" "You don't understand," I replied sagely. "Every single penny I spend on you right now is directly accumulating merit points for me." "All right, then I'm going to grab whatever I want," she smiled. "Stop dawdling and hurry up. I still want to go play on the trampoline." A few minutes later, Ye Qingshui walked out of the dressing room wearing a white crop top and ripped jeans. "How does this look?" she asked. I instantly scowled. "Why is your belly button exposed?" "Go change immediately." "Oh," she pouted, but obediently returned to the dressing room. After that, she tried on 3 different outfits, and I forcefully rejected every single one of them. Finally, suppressing her rising fury, Ye Qingshui snapped, "Fine, I'm not picking anymore. I'm tired." "Just pick whatever you think looks good." I reached out and patted Ye Qingshui on the head, adopting a deeply comforting fatherly tone. "How could you be tired while shopping with Daddy? Be a good girl. I'll pick out a beautiful outfit for you." Without hesitation, I stepped up and personally selected a pair of long denim jeans and a simple white t-shirt. After Ye Qingshui changed into them, her aura instantly shifted from an untouchable icy goddess to a perfectly obedient, sweet good girl. She turned to me, doing a slight twirl. "How does it look?" "Beautiful." I nodded with a warm, fatherly smile. "The daughter of my dreams looks exactly like this." Ye Qingshui smiled softly. "Then I'll take this outfit." The 2 items cost exactly 500 yuan. T 152 bit Yang Suez. "Nice." I cheered into 500 merit points. "Nice." I cheered internally. The points are finally rolling in, but then I paused, realizing something was wrong. "Wait, system. Why didn't I get any points when I bought her that milk tea earlier?" I immediately demanded an explanation from the system. Apologies for the oversight in the milk tea purchase generated 30 points of fatherly love, which converted into 30 merit points. Hearing the system's reply, I smiled in satisfaction. Now that's more like it. Don't you dare try to shortchange my merit points. The unbelievably stunning school goddess who every single guy on campus desperately simped for had suddenly taken an intense interest in a broke, trash-picking guy like me. Just to have an excuse to hang out, she even willingly lowered her status to play along and call me daddy. And to fulfill my role as a proper father, I immediately decided to take her to the most appropriate place possible, the children's amusement park. Ye Qingshui fiercely resisted. "I don't want to go. There are way too many kids there. In Daddy's eyes, you're a little girl too," I replied warmly. Yi Qingshui couldn't help but roll her eyes. "You are way too deep into this roleplay. You're completely lost in the sauce." As we walked, I perfectly mimicked the tone of a concerned father. "So, have you been dating anyone at school recently?" "No," Yi Qingshui answered coldly. "Why not? Is nobody chasing you? I don't like men." Hearing that, I stopped dead in my tracks, an expression of sheer horror spreading across my face. Yi Qingshui quickly added, and I don't like women either. I let out a massive sigh of relief. You scared me to death, daughter. It's fine if you don't want to date right now, but your sexual orientation needs to remain standard, I lectured. Ye Qingshui smirked mischievously. Actually, there's one guy near me who I find quite interesting. Oh? Who is it? What are his shining qualities? His biggest defining trait, Ye Qingshui laughed, is that he's absolutely obsessed with pantyhose, specifically ones that other people have already worn. My face instantly dropped. Hey, why are you slandering people? Pointing right at me, Ye Qingshui laughed triumphantly. You broke character. Instantly snapping back into my fatherly persona, I coughed. All right. Aside from that, does he have any other redeeming qualities? Not that I've discovered yet. Further observation is required. But Daddy, what kind of man do you think a girl can truly entrust her life to? Ye Qingshui called me Daddy, so naturally this time that I actually felt a sense of responsibility. I thought for a moment before speaking slowly and solemnly. Observe a man when he faces failure. Observe a man when he suddenly achieves success. Observe a man when his success is suddenly ripped away. If he can maintain his composure and not lose his core principles through all three of these trials, then he is a man worth entrusting your life to. I smoothly rattled off the incredibly profound philosophical advice. Ye Qingshui was genuinely stunned. Smiling, she said, I didn't expect you to be so cultured. Explain what it means. I just chuckled. Figure it out yourself. Let it marinate. Ah, come on, she pouted playfully. I can't figure it out. Soon I led Ye Qingshui to the entrance of the children's amusement park. However, to our dismay, the staff member informed us that the area was strictly for children, and adults were not permitted to enter. Just as Ye Qingshui was trying to convince me to give up and leave, I stubbornly refused to back down. Looking at the staff member, I stated confidently, my daughter is 18 years old this year. I am 62 years old. Therefore, I will buy 10 children's tickets. I'll scan the QR code and pay you 500 yuan right now. Can we go in? Beside me, Ye Qingshui muttered under her breath, my dad isn't that old. Thanks. I immediately shot her a stern glare. Did I say you could speak? Keep your mouth shut. When adults are talking, children do not interrupt. Hearing the offer of 500 yuan, the staff member hesitated. Sir, if you're putting it like that, I suppose I could ask my manager. Don't bother your manager, I insisted. I just want to fulfill my daughter's childhood dream. Please just try to understand the heartfelt wish of an old father. With a single sentence, I seamlessly blended both the boyfriend trying to spoil his girl and old father fulfilling a dream. Personas, the staff member's CPU completely fried trying to process the logic. Finally, he sighed. All right, handsome, you two can go in. Just be careful and mind your safety while playing. Learning that we could actually enter the children's park, Ye Qingshui was genuinely thrilled. She couldn't stop the massive smile from spreading across her face. The park was filled with various rides and attractions. To a middle schooler, these things would have seemed incredibly childish. But to a college student, they were absolutely perfect. The two of us completely lost our minds playing like absolute maniacs. As the saying goes, the things you couldn't have in your childhood will haunt you for the rest of your life. And so, Ye Qingshui and I spent 2 full hours absolutely tearing up the children's amusement park. But after the wild adrenaline rush faded, Ye Qingshui's mood suddenly plummeted, a wave of melancholy washing over her. I nudged her shoulder. So, how did I do as a father? Father's love is as heavy as a mountain. I'd say that perfectly describes my performance, right? Ye Qingshui remained silent for a moment before speaking softly. Regardless of everything else, thank you. You actually did fulfill one of my childhood dreams. Honestly, I replied sincerely. I just really wanted to play too. Ha! Ye Qingshui smiled weakly. I could tell. Taking a deep breath, I announced, all right, the parent-child roleplay game officially ends here. You can call your real dad now. Ye Qingshui looked at me confused. Why would I call him? I find him incredibly annoying. If he annoys you, that's exactly why you should call him every few days just to piss him off. Come on, dial the number. I'll help you make him mad. I guarantee I can make his teeth hurt from pure rage with a single sentence. Ye Qingshui laughed in disbelief. Are you serious? I nodded confidently. Please have absolute faith in me. Encouraged by my absolute confidence, Ye Qingshui dialed her father's number. Handing the phone over to me, she smirked. All right, let's see your performance. The moment the call connected, I spoke in an incredibly cold, arrogant tone. Hello? Old man? That single greeting completely terrified Ye Qingshui. She stared at me with wide, completely shocked eyes. The damage was minimal, but the level of pure insult was astronomical. Instantly furious, Ye Dabiao roared through the phone. Who the hell is this? Why do you have my daughter's phone? Where is Schwer? I smoothly introduced myself. I am her boyfriend. I'm calling to ask for your company's address. Do you have VIP parking? Because I'm planning to ride my extremely loud, illegally modified Ghostfire motorcycle over to pay you a visit. Ye Dabiao was practically foaming at the mouth with rage. Give the phone to Ye Qingshui right now. Let me ask her what the hell is going on. She can't come to the phone right now, she's taking a shower, I replied casually. Oh, by the way, I just dyed my hair bright blonde. You don't mind, do you? With just a few short sentences, I had successfully maximized Ye Dabiao's rage meter. Usually, Ye Qingshui wasn't afraid of her father at all. But right now, even she was breaking a cold sweat just listening to the absolute chaos I was unleashing. I was literally talking to my future father-in-law, and my opening line was calling him an old man. The school goddess was completely dumbfounded. She never expected me to actually possess the sheer audacity to speak to her terrifying father like that. "Who the hell are you?" Ye Da Biao roared. "Why do you have my daughter's phone? Where is Schwer?" "I am her boyfriend," I repeated calmly. "I just wanted to know if your company has VIP parking, because I'm planning to ride my obnoxiously loud Ghostfire motorcycle over there to visit you." "Give the phone to Ye Qingshui right now," Ye Da Biao screamed. "I need to talk to her. She's in the shower, it's not convenient right now. Oh, and I dyed my hair bright blonde. Hope you don't mind." With just a few sentences, Ye Da Biao's fury reached critical mass. Usually, Ye Qingshui wasn't afraid of her father at all. She was genuinely terrified. In a panic, she snatched the phone away from me, covering the receiver with her hand. "You're dead," she hissed at me. Then, running off to the side, she began furiously damage controlling the situation with her father. I just crossed my arms and smirked. Who am I afraid of? I fear no one. A few minutes later, Ye Qingshui returned, looking incredibly exhausted and annoyed. "What happened?" I asked. "Did you get scolded?" "Scolded?" She snapped coldly. "He absolutely exploded," I laughed. "That's great. Great my ass. I was getting yelled at the entire time." "Getting yelled at is completely normal," I shrugged. "When I was a kid, I used to get physically beaten all the time. Honestly, compared to cold indifference, getting yelled at is perfectly acceptable." Ye Qingshui paused, letting out a soft It was true. Today, for the first time in a long time, her father had actually shown intense concern for every aspect of her life. It was much better than his usual distant silence. "Trust me," I said. "From now on, he's going to be calling you constantly to check up on you. Let's go. I'm taking you to buy lottery scratchers." "Wait," she stopped me. "Let's take a picture in front of the sponge pit first, before we leave. Just to commemorate the occasion," she added. After all, this is the very first time I've ever been to a children's amusement park. "Sure, no problem," I agreed readily. Standing in front of the massive pit filled with foam blocks, I held my phone up and switched to the front-facing camera. "Hey, do you want to lean in a bit closer? Let's make it look like we're actually close." Ye Qingshui scoffed coldly. "Who are you to me? What is our relationship? Why should I act close to you?" "Hey, you little brat," I teased. 10 minutes ago, I was your daddy." "You are a bad daddy," she retorted. After our brief bickering, we finally settled down for the picture. Ye Qingshui's beautiful hair draped over my shoulder, tickling my neck slightly. As I shifted uncomfortably, she glared at me. "Do you have ADHD or something? Stop moving." "Your hair is tickling me," I complained. "You are so high maintenance." Sighing, Ye Qingshui pulled a hair tie from her wrist and quickly tied her hair up into a high ponytail. In that exact moment, looking at her side profile with her hair tied up, she looked exactly like the girl I had a massive crush on when I was 17 in high school. I stared at her flawless profile, completely mesmerized and slightly dazed. Ye Qingshui frowned. "What are you spacing out for?" "Hurry up and take the picture." I finally snapped back to reality. Right, let's go." "Say cheese." I snapped a few photos. Ye Qingshui was incredibly photogenic. She looked flawlessly youthful and radiant in every single shot. Taking my phone, she carefully inspected the pictures, a satisfied smile spreading across her face. Not bad at all. "I didn't expect your photography skills to actually be decent. Make sure you send these to me later." "I'll give you a massive surprise right now to end the day," I replied casually. "What surprise?" she asked, confused. In the very next second, I aggressively bumped my hip into her, launching Ye Qingshui straight backward into the giant sponge pit. Standing safely on the edge, I laughed triumphantly. "Surprise? Were you surprised?" Ye Qingshui was utterly speechless. She had never met someone so incredibly childish in her entire life. I stood there arrogantly. "What's the matter? You mad? If you're mad, come up here and fight me." Suddenly, Ye Qingshui looked past me, her eyes widening in pure shock. "Dad?" she yelled loudly. "What are you doing here?" Hearing her yell "Dad," my instincts kicked in and I immediately whipped my head around to look behind me. Did that old man seriously track my phone signal all the way here to kill me? But the moment I turned my head, Ye Qingshui agilely sprang up from the foam blocks, grabbed my shirt, and screamed, "Get down here." I desperately tried to maintain my balance, but Ye Qingshui's pull was too strong. I tumbled forward, falling straight down into the pit. And as gravity took over, my body crashed heavily right on top of Ye Qingshui's lips, crashing perfectly together. Ye Qingshui's eyes widened to the size of saucers. Never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that a trip to a children's amusement park would cost her her very first kiss. Half an hour later, the two of us finally left the amusement park. That specific experience was destined to be permanently burned into both of our memories for the rest of our lives. After a long, agonizingly awkward silence, Ye Qingshui finally looked at me and asked, "Was that your first kiss?" "Absolutely," I replied without hesitation. "It was my very first kiss of the day. Trading a first kiss for a first kiss, I guess I didn't lose out entirely," she muttered. I laughed. "Now that's the spirit. Broaden your horizons. You were going to lose your first kiss eventually anyway, so why not lose it to me?" Get lost. Ye Qing snapped, her tsundere pride acting up. I don't want to talk to you. I tried to comfort her with science. Actually, a true kiss requires the exchange of oral bacteria and cellular matter. What we just did was at best a violent collision of teeth. Yi Xing looked disgusted. Bacterial exchange? What the hell is that? In layman's terms, French kissing, I explained casually. Yi Qingshui's face flushed bright red. Enough? Stop talking, just forget it ever happened. All right, let's go. We're going to the lottery shop to win the grand prize, I declared confidently, leading Ye Qingshui into a welfare lottery shop inside the mall. I slammed my hand on the counter. Boss, give me a whole booklet of 50 UN scratchers. Reaching into my pocket, I pulled out my ID card, ready to use the hard edge to aggressively scratch the tickets. This is a professional technique known as hate scratching, I explained. Watching me pull out my ID, Ye Qingshui asked curiously, You actually carry your ID card with you when you go out? You don't? I asked, surprised. She shook her head. No, I don't have that habit. Next time we go out together, make sure you bring it, I advised seriously, just in case we run into an emergency. What kind of emergency, she asked, genuinely confused. For example, if we're out and suddenly there's a massive typhoon or a torrential downpour. In that kind of severe weather, we could… Haha, you know. Yi Qingshui instantly understood the implication. Lin Yi, you seem very experienced. You must have ruined a lot of girls with that trick, haven't you? I immediately put on a mask of pure, righteous indignation. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? I meant we could go to an internet cafe and pull an all-nighter gaming. What the hell is constantly going through your head? Realizing she had walked right into a trap and exposed her own dirty thoughts, Ye Qingshui clenched her fists and punched my arm. I'm going to kill you. And so, I brought the school goddess to the lottery shop to scratch tickets. Incredibly, on my very first try, I accidentally scratched out a 200,000 yuan grand prize. Ye Qingshui was buzzing with excitement. I want to try scratching a booklet too. Go for it, I said. Since we just kissed, maybe you successfully absorbed half of my luck. Ye Qingshui glared at me. If you mention that incident one more time, I will literally scatter your ashes. Do you understand? I quickly shut my mouth and nodded furiously. Grabbing a booklet of tickets, Ye Qingshui started scratching. To my absolute shock, her very first ticket instantly hit the 200,000 yuan jackpot too. Meridius. I only won 200k because I used the merit points from the system to rig the odds, but Ye Qingshui winning 200k on her first try? That was pure unadulterated luck. For someone as wealthy as Ye Qingshui, 200,000 yuan wasn't exactly a life-changing amount of money, but the sheer thrill of hitting the jackpot made her unbelievably ecstatic. Grabbing my arm tightly, she squealed in pure joy. Lin Yi, taking me to the lottery shop is the greatest thing you've ever done. I will remember this for the rest of my life. Haha. Your destiny is genuinely terrifying, I sighed in awe. It looks like that kiss really did transfer half of my protagonist's luck to you. Ye Qingshui glared at me again. I told you to stop mentioning that. Why do you keep bringing it up? I'll mention it if I want to, I teased shamelessly. Whatever, she scoffed. I'm in too bit of a mood today to lower myself to your level. At 3 p.m., we finally headed back to campus. Before we parted ways, Ye Qingshui reminded me, don't forget to send me the photos we took today. Which ones do you want? I asked. All of them, she replied firmly. With that, she turned and walked away gracefully. It seemed that accidentally losing her first kiss hadn't affected her mood too severely after all. The moment Ye Qingshui walked into her dorm room, her beautiful roommates instantly swarmed her. Shuer, did you have fun today? Any major breakthroughs? Ye Qingshui smiled brightly. How did you guys know I won 200,000 on a scratcher today? The entire dorm room erupted into chaotic cheering. Meanwhile, the second I got back to my dorm, I couldn't stop yawning. After exchanging a few brief words with my roommates, I collapsed into bed and immediately fell asleep. Back in the girls' dorm, the stunning Ye Qingshui had just finished her shower. Sitting on her bed, she kept letting out soft, completely unguarded giggles. Her roommate laughed. Oh my god, my precious princess, you've been giggling to yourself all afternoon, and you still claim you aren't interested in him. Ye Qingshui smiled warmly. I really did have a lot of fun with Lin Yi today. Being around him, it's just very relaxing. That's the prelude to falling in love, Shuer, her roommate teased. You two should just get together already. The whole school is already gossiping about you two anyway. Let them gossip. Ye Qingshui opened Weibo and made a new post. She attached 2 photos, the selfie of us together at the amusement park, and a picture of her winning the 200,000 yuan scratch-off ticket. Just a few minutes later, Xiaolan refreshed her feed and gasped. Shuer, are you making it official? Ye Qingshui smiled nonchalantly. It's not an official announcement, I'm just sharing a bit of my daily life. But within just half an hour, the comment section under her Weibo post completely exploded. The most beautiful goddess of Icun University, Ye Qingshui, is actually making it official. Oh my god, I can't accept this. The fertilizer sack god of war is an absolute legend. I knew it. The ultimate simp always wins in the end. Scrolling through the chaotic comments, Ye Qingshui actually found it highly amusing. Wow, so this is what it feels like to watch people gossip about you. It's kind of fun. This is the first time I've ever seen someone enjoy watching the drama about their own life. Her roommate laughed. It seems like you really do like that annoying guy. I'll leave it all up to fate, Ye Qing replied serenely. Evening quickly approached. Ye Qing had just changed her clothes and was preparing to take her roommates out for dinner when Ye Dabiao suddenly called. Feeling a sudden wave of anxiety, Ye Qing walked out onto the balcony and answered the phone. A minute later, she returned to the room, looking pale. Shuer, who was that? Her roommate asked with concern. My dad, Ye Qing replied tightly. He'll be waiting outside our dorm building in exactly 5 minutes. Her roommate gasped in shock. Why is your dad suddenly here? Doesn't he usually just ignore you? Ye Qing immediately realized the severity of the situation. Lin Yi was in massive trouble. In a panic, she desperately tried to call me to tell me to run and hide for a few days, but my phone was completely unreachable. Left with no other choice, Ye Qing could only brace herself and head downstairs to face the music. Ye Qing knew her father would come looking for trouble the moment she hung up the phone. She had already braced herself mentally. No matter what happened, she absolutely would not sell Lin Yi out. Worst case scenario, she would carry the burden herself. 5 minutes later, a luxurious Mercedes Maybach pulled up right to the girls' dormitory, followed closely by a fleet of black commercial vans. A massive crowd of onlookers had already gathered, assuming some rich second-generation heir had arrived. But the man who stepped out of the Maybach was middle-aged. He was Ye Dabiao Ye Qing father, the chairman of the Ye Corporation, a man worth tens of billions. At the exact same time, over 20 men in black suits poured out of the vans. They were clearly professional bodyguards. Ye Qing stepped forward looking at the man. Dad. That single word sent a shockwave through the crowd. This incredibly imposing man was the school goddess's father. No wonder they both had such overwhelming auras. But Ye Dabiao didn't say a single word. He simply raised his hand and swung heavily. Smack. A sharp, crisp slap echoed through the air. Ye Qing head was thrown to the side, completely stunned. But she wasn't afraid of Ye Dabiao in the slightest. Looking back at him, she let out a cold laugh. Hit me. Keep hitting me. You better just beat me to death right here today. Ye Dabiao roared in pure fury. Where is he? Tell him to get his ass out here. He? Who are you talking about? Ye Qing asked mockingly. Your little ghost fire motorcycle riding boyfriend. Wasn't he incredibly arrogant on the phone? Tell him to step out here right now. The truth was, I had merely called my future father-in-law old man on the phone, and within hours he had mobilized over 20 massive bodyguards to hunt me down in real life. The innocent school goddess had even caught a brutal collateral slap because of me. And meanwhile, the absolute mastermind behind this chaos was currently fast asleep in his dorm room. Isn't your boyfriend supposed to be tough? Ye Dabiao yelled. Tell him to face me. Ye Qing just sneered. Who exactly do you think you are? What right do you have to order people around? I have the right because I am your father, Ye Dabiao snapped. Ye Qing laughed coldly. If you hadn't mentioned it, I would have forgotten. Over all these years, when have you ever actually cared about me? Ye Dabiao's tone turned freezing cold. Do I not send you money every single month? Oh, thank you so much for the money. But what about after that? In the last 6 months, how many words have we even spoken to each other? Has it even exceeded 10 sentences? I am very busy, Ye Qing fired back. A businessman who only cares about profits. In your eyes, there is nothing but money. From now on, you don't need to send me a single cent. Ye Dabiao was livid. So you find yourself some street punk boyfriend and suddenly forget your own father. Listen to me, Ye Qing I will never ever let the two of you be together. Don't push me, Ye Qing yelled. If you keep pushing me, I will elope with him tomorrow. I'll make sure you never see me again. As the father and daughter continued their explosive argument outside the girls' dormitory, back in the boys' dorm, Hu Xiaojie was desperately shaking me awake. Brother Yi, something terrible happened. Ye Qing just got slapped. I bolted upright in shock. What? Who hit her? I think it's her dad. They're screaming at each other right outside the girls' dorms right now. Hearing that, I immediately threw off the covers, grabbed a jacket, and prepared to march out. Brother Yi, where are you going? Hu Xiaojie panicked. To save my girl, obviously. But they have way too many people. How many? I asked sharply. Like several dozen, all huge guys in black suits and ties. I paused. And how many guys do we have right now? Li Ming and Brother Tao went out to buy food. Hu Xiaojie swallowed hard. So right now, it's just the two of us. I stood tall, my voice brimming with absolute heroic resolve. That's more than enough. Let's go. Follow me into battle. Hu Xiaojie was terrified. Brother Yi, I have some connections in the student union. Let me go call for backup. Good idea, Brother Jie. I nodded firmly. You go do that. I'll go meet Ye Qing old man first. But just as I was charging furiously toward the girls' dormitory, the system's mechanical voice suddenly echoed in my mind. Triggering the emergency evasion system. The system can now provide the host with one urban helicopter to facilitate an immediate escape. I stopped dead in my tracks, completely offended. Escape? Are you telling me to act like a turtle hiding in its shell? Absolutely not. A true real man faces the storm head-on. The host will face catastrophic consequences. I scoffed. Oh yeah, tell me, what kind of terrible consequences? This was public, and when touted by receiving a luxury oceanfront villa and a Maserati. My jaw completely dropped. Holy crap, that is way too heavy of a price. Say no more, I am absolutely willing to bear this burden. The real penalty is that after this operation, the host is strictly prohibited from engaging in any solo self-rewarding activities for exactly 7 days. If this rule is broken, the host will permanently lose the physical ability to love. Without even a second of hesitation, I agreed. It's just 7 days, piece of cake. A man who doesn't respect his own body is just rotting cabbage anyway. Meanwhile, back at the dorms, Ye Qing and her father were still locked in a vicious standoff. Neither side was willing to back down a single inch. Ye Dabiao glared at her coldly. I'm going to ask you one last time. What is his name? Tell him to come out and face me. I am never going to tell you, Ye Qing shot back. If you aren't afraid of publicly embarrassing yourself, we can stand here and scream at each other all day. Childish, Ye Dabiao spat. How could you possibly be dating a coward with absolutely zero sense of responsibility? You are throwing away my face. I like him, and that's all that matters. I am not like you. You treat money like it's your actual life. Well, I only care about fate. Completely ignoring Ye Qing's outburst, Ye Dabiao turned his terrifying gaze toward the massive crowd of onlookers. If anyone here is willing to tell me the name of Ye Qing's boyfriend, I will immediately transfer them a 10,000 yuan reward. The crowd instantly gasped in shock. Countless people began shifting on their feet, deeply tempted. Seeing their hesitation, Ye Dabiao immediately doubled down. No one wants 10,000. Fine. How about 100,000 yuan? Who can tell me? This completely shattered Ye Xingshui's defenses. She never expected her father to use such a dirty, overwhelmingly capitalistic tactic. Let me see who dares to say a word, she screamed furiously at the crowd. But under the absolute crushing temptation of pure cash, someone finally stepped forward. A nerdy-looking guy with glasses shot his hand into the air and yelled, "His name is Lin Yi. He's a student in the art department's class 82, and just like a dam breaking, more and more people instantly began loudly exposing my true identity. Some people even shouted out the exact location of my dorm building. Seeing everyone sell me out in a heartbeat, Ye Qingshui's eyes grew red with angry tears. Ye Dabiao sneered coldly. Do you see that? In this world, there is absolutely nothing that money cannot accomplish. And if there is, it simply means the price wasn't high enough. With red, furious eyes, Ye Qingshui glared at her father. If you dare touch even a single hair on his head, I will sever my ties with you completely. Ye Dabiao was enraged. You would cut off your own flesh and blood for some street punk? Yi Xingshui, have you completely lost your mind? But right at that moment, my voice casually drifted over from the back of the crowd. Excuse me, make way, make way. Let's see what all the fuss is about. I swaggered through the parting sea of students. Who is offering 100,000 yuan bounty on me? Just wire the money straight to my account, I'll gladly report myself. My grand entrance sent the entire crowd into absolute pandemonium. Holy crap, he actually showed up. He's going head-to-head with Ye Qingshui's terrifying dad. Absolute legend. As expected of the fertilizer sack god of war. He truly lives up to the title of god of war. I fully support him. Just fight it out. Like a lone hero parting the sea, I strolled confidently through the mob and stood right next to Ye Qingshui. Before I arrived, no matter how terrifying Ye Dabiao was, Ye Qingshui hadn't flinched or backed down for a single second. But the moment I actually appeared, genuine panic flashed in her eyes. Her eyes red, she grabbed my arm anxiously. Why are you here? This is a family matter. Hurry up and leave. I just smiled calmly. Don't worry. I've got people covering me from above. Despite how incredibly stressed and upset she was, my absolute unfounded confidence actually made Ye Qingshui want to laugh and cry at the same time. This guy was just unbelievably arrogant. I then casually stepped right up to Ye Dabiao. We locked eyes. As the absolute main protagonist of this story, my sheer aura was naturally not a single ounce weaker than this mature, intimidating billionaire. After silently sizing each other up for a few seconds, Ye Dabiao finally spoke. So you're the punk from the phone. Where is your Ghostfire motorcycle? It's a restricted traffic day, so I didn't ride it out, I replied with a grin. So, you're Ye Qingshui's father. Ye Dabiao gave a stiff, imperious nod. I offered a highly polite, completely unapologetic smile. Hello, father-in-law. Let me clarify something. I was indeed the one who called you this morning, and my sole purpose was specifically to make you incredibly angry. Ye Qingshui and I have known each other for less than 3 days. As of right now, we are just very good friends. Hearing this, Ye Dabiao finally understood the situation. His expression turned incredibly dark. Do you have any idea what the consequences are for doing something like this to me? Of course I do, I replied fearlessly. But compared to the consequences, what I gained was far more valuable. And what exactly did you gain? Ye Dabiao demanded fiercely. I slowly shifted my gaze to Ye Qingshui and smiled. I gained a beauty's smile. I had merely called my future father-in-law old man, and he had instantly summoned over 20 massive bodyguards to teach me a lesson in reality. The innocent school goddess had even caught a public slap because of it. But when he realized I had intentionally provoked him, purely to vent anger on his daughter's behalf, Ye Dabiao's face turned lethal. Do you have any idea what the consequences are for crossing me? I know, I answered completely unfazed. But what I gained was worth far more. And what did you gain? He demanded. Without hiding a single thing, I declared, a beauty smile. That line hit like an absolute critical strike. Hearing it, Ye Qingshui's heart instantly began racing uncontrollably. Ye Qingshui's heart instantly began racing uncontrollably. Ye Dabiao let out a chilling, sinister laugh. You little brat, you truly are a newborn calf, unafraid of the tiger. You dare to play games with me? Do you even know who I am? You are Ye Qingshui's father, Mr. Ye. On the phone you called me old man. Why change your tune now? He sneered. I mean, if you prefer it, I replied smoothly. I can easily switch right back. Enough with your glib tongue, Ye Dabiao roared. Consider this your final warning. Stay far away from my daughter. If I ever catch you two together again, don't blame me for showing no mercy. I immediately fired back with absolute dominance. There's one thing I hate above all else, and that's being threatened. Mr. Ye Qingshui is an adult. She has the freedom to love whoever she wants. I am her father. I absolutely have the right to intervene. Ye Dabiao countered fiercely. Once she graduates, I will personally select her future husband, and that man will be 10,000 times better than a punk like you. Ye Qingshui instantly snapped. If you pick him, then you date him. I won't. You ungrateful brat. Why won't you listen? I am doing this for your own good. I honestly can't listen to this garbage anymore. I sighed heavily, waving my hand dismissively. All right, that's enough. I've explained what needed explaining. Now, I'm going to take your daughter and leave. I turned my head to Ye Qingshui. Want to go grab an iced Americano? Ye Qingshui smiled brightly. Sure, but you're paying. This incredibly casual conversation completely blew the minds of everyone watching. Lin Yi is a god. Faced with an absolute titan, not only is he completely fearless, he's actively trying to kidnap the man's daughter right in front of him. Watch your wording. How is it kidnapping when Ye Qingshui is going completely willingly? I can watch a replay of this 30 times and still not learn his swagger. Too clean. Ye Dabiao was practically vibrating with rage. Do you honestly think you're going to walk out of here in one piece today? The moment he spoke, the 20 massive bodyguards instantly surged forward, completely surrounding us. Ye Qingshui couldn't hold back anymore. Yi Dabiao, do you seriously want me to permanently cut ties with you? Ignoring his daughter entirely, Ye Dabiao locked eyes with me. If you can manage to escape my grasp today, I will never interfere again. Are you sure about that? I asked with a smirk. Listen closely, boy, Ye Dabiao sneered. I am a towering mountain that you will never ever be able to cross. As long as I draw breath, you and Cher have absolutely zero chance. I let out a confident laugh. I wouldn't be so sure about that. If I can't cross the mountain, I'll just fly right over it. Just as I was about to fire my signal flare, Hu Xiaojie and the boys came sprinting through the crowd, screaming at the top of their lungs, Brother Yi, we're here to save you. Hearing their voices, my heart surged with intense brotherly emotion. But that emotion lasted exactly 3 seconds before all of them were instantly tackled and pinned to the ground by the professional bodyguards. Ye Qingshui stared in disbelief. Are those the people above you that you mentioned? I laughed awkwardly. Haha, no, those are just my roommates. Then, without hesitation, I whipped a flare gun straight out of my pocket, pointed it at the sky, and fired. A single flare pierces the clouds, I roared dramatically. An army of thousands comes to meet. The crowd was completely stunned. Nobody expected me to pull out a literal flare gun. Holy crap, is he calling for reinforcements? Lin Yi actually has hidden backup? I thought he was just a nobody. He's actually a hidden boss. But 3 full minutes passed, and absolutely nothing happened. The courtyard was dead silent. Ye Qingshui leaned in and whispered nervously, What's going on? Was that just a bluff to stall for time? I coughed awkwardly. Don't panic. Just let the bullet fly a little longer. Ye Dabiao let out a mocking laugh. I have to admit, kid, you're pretty funny. I'll stand right here and wait it out with you today. Let's see who breaks first. But the very second Ye Dabiao finished his sentence, a heavy rhythmic thumping echoed from the sky above. As the deafening sound rapidly approached, the crowd finally realized what it was: the violent roar of helicopter rotors. Holy crap, it's a literal helicopter. Who the hell flew a helicopter into the university? Suddenly, a blinding spotlight pierced the darkness from above, illuminating the entire girls' dormitory in a wash of brilliant white light. Driven by sheer professional instinct, Ye Dabiao's bodyguards immediately grabbed him and shoved him into the safety of the Maybach. I turned to Ye Qingshui with a wide, victorious grin. Let's go. Time to get that iced Americano. Ye Qingshui looked at me in absolute, utter shock. We're taking a helicopter to buy an iced Americano. Trust me, I replied, grabbing her hand. And just like that, under the utterly paralyzed, awestruck gaze of the entire school, Ye Qingshui and I boarded the helicopter and lifted off into the night sky. Down below, sitting trapped inside his Maybach, Ye Da Biao was boiling with an unprecedented, uncontrollable fury. Find out immediately, he roared at his men. Investigate exactly who the hell that brat really is. Meanwhile, thousands of feet in the air, Ye Qing and I sat in the back of the chopper. Both of us were incredibly tense. Finally, Ye Qing broke the awkward silence. This helicopter, is it yours? Rented it, I replied smoothly. She let out a long sigh of relief. Oh, it's just rented. You scared me to death. What were you scared of? I teased. Scared I was actually kidnapping you? I was scared that you— Never mind. Forget it, she muttered. So, where are we going next? I shook my head honestly. I have no idea. Let's just go wherever. Not long after, the helicopter touched down on the grassy field of an open-air stadium. The moment we leaped out of the chopper, I instantly grabbed her hand. Run. If we don't hurry, your dad is going to catch up. Ye Qing couldn't help but laugh. It's fine. My dad drives a Maybach, but no matter how fast a Maybach is, it can't outrun a helicopter. As we watched the chopper lift off and disappear into the night, my high-stakes rescue mission was officially declared a flawless victory. We didn't immediately go buy the iced Americano. Instead, we just took a quiet stroll across the stadium field. Looking over at Ye Qing I noticed a very unnatural redness on her cheek. What happened to your face? I asked, concerned. Suddenly anxious, Ye Qing quickly covered the cheek her father had slapped. Is it really ugly? It's not ugly, I reassured her. It's just really red. Are you having an allergic reaction? Ye Qing looked away, her voice dropping. My dad hit me. Hearing that, an intense surge of anger flared up inside me. How could a father actually strike his own daughter? And on the face, no less. That is completely out of line. Move your hand, let me see it. Ah, it's fine, she mumbled defensively. It made me a little dizzy at first, but I feel much better now. I sighed heavily. That absolute old bastard hits way too damn hard. What if he gave you a concussion? Staring deeply into my eyes, Ye Qing spoke again, her voice barely a whisper. Lin Yi, thank you. This thank you is completely different from the last one. I could feel the raw, intense emotional weight behind it. We locked eyes in the quiet darkness of the stadium. Unknowingly, the temperature between us seemed to spike, the air growing thick with heavy, undeniable romantic tension. Ye Qing mind went completely blank. Her eyelashes fluttered nervously, and then completely uncontrollably, she slowly closed her eyes, staring at her flawlessly beautiful face and her soft, inviting lips. I swallowed hard. Man, I thought to myself, it's been way too long since I've kissed someone. If I don't kiss her right now, when the hell am I going to? But just as I slowly leaned in closer to Ye Qing the system's mechanical alarm suddenly blared in my mind. The host is strictly prohibited from engaging in any explicit or romantic behavior for 7 days. Violation will result in permanent dysfunction. Permanent dysfunction? I panicked internally. Like mental depression. I guess I could handle that. Physical dysfunction. That single clarification hit me like a bucket of ice water. I instantly snapped wide awake. Backing away abruptly, I clapped my hands together. Female benefactor, wake up. Let's go buy that iced Americano. Ye Qing eyes snapped open, a look of pure, utter disbelief washing over her face. Is this guy completely oblivious to romance? She screamed internally. My eyes were literally closed and he didn't kiss me. For Ye Qing this was a massive blow to her pride. For a girl, the only thing worse than a guy moving too fast is a guy who doesn't move at all. Looking at the deep disappointment swirling in her beautiful eyes, I asked innocently, what are you thinking about? Staring at her deeply disappointed eyes, I innocently asked, what are you thinking about? I was thinking, she replied, her voice dangerously quiet. Do you dare to forcefully kiss me right now within the next 5 seconds? I firmly refused. How is that possible? We're in the middle of a public stadium. Rest assured, I promised solemnly, raising my hand. Even if we were stranded in the middle of a barren wilderness, I would never force myself on you. I swear it on my honor. Ye Qing was utterly speechless. This guy was the absolute king of oblivious straight men. Taking a deep breath to calm her frustration, she tried another angle. Don't you want to know what my lip balm tastes like? No, not really, I answered honestly. What if I accidentally swallow it and get food poisoning? Yet Qing patience completely snapped. Slapping my arm hard, she yelled, Lin Yi. I immediately snapped to attention, standing perfectly straight. Sir, yes sir, take out your phone right now, she commanded, pointing at me. Play a romantic song. Then looked directly into my eyes. I obediently pulled out my phone. However, the songs on my playlist weren't from this world. They were all random tracks from my previous life that I hadn't even listened to properly yet. For example, the song that started playing out loud was, You Shouldn't Have Smiled at Me. Is this one good? I asked awkwardly. Ye Qing was thoroughly defeated. In that exact moment, she profoundly understood a universal truth. It takes less than 3 minutes for a woman to go from desperately liking a man to actively wanting to strangle him. Turning on her heel, she snapped, let's go buy that iced Americano. Soon, we arrived at a nearby cafe. 2 iced Americanos, please, Ye Qing told the barista. Make it 3, I corrected. Can you drink 3, she asked, surprised. The third one is for your dad, I explained sincerely. Ye Ching Shui stared at me, completely baffled. My dad? Of course, I grinned. Young people need to broaden their horizons. There are no permanent enemies in this world. Harmony is the most important thing. Today I called him old man, but who knows? Maybe in the future I'll be calling him dad. That single sentence instantly made Ye Ching Shui's face flush bright red all over again. Blushing furiously, she punched my arm. Shut up. Turning back to the barista, I added, "Oh, and could we get an ice pack as well? Thank you." "What do you need an ice pack for?" she asked. "To ice your cheek, obviously," I replied gently. "Otherwise, it's going to swell up by tomorrow." Ye Ching Shui was genuinely touched. If you hadn't mentioned it, I would have completely forgotten. Thank you for reminding me. I patted her softly on the head. Hey, if you want, you can just call me your godfather from now on. Ye Ching Shui swatted my hand away, glaring at me reproachfully. Keep dreaming. While we waited for the coffee, Ye Ching Shui's phone suddenly rang. She looked at the screen, immediately panicking. It's my dad calling. What should I do? Tell your dad we'll be back at your dorm in 20 minutes, I instructed calmly. Ye Ching Shui looked frustrated. I don't want to go back. I don't want to see him. Then where do you want to go, I asked. Come to a hotel with me, and we'll book a room with a massive king-size bed. Ye Ching Shui immediately cut me off. Stop talking. I'll go back. I'll go back. I laughed. That's more like it. At the end of the day, he is your biological father. You can be angry with him, but you still need to give him a way to step down gracefully. Persuaded by my logic, Ye Ching Shui walked off to the side to take the call. 3 minutes later, she returned just as the iced Americanos were ready. Finished talking? I asked. She nodded. He apologized to me. He told me not to be impulsive and that we could talk things out calmly. Also, he said he wants to speak with you alone. Tell him I'm willing to talk, I replied smoothly, but he has to wait until tomorrow. I'm exhausted today. Ye Ching Shui laughed softly. Why does it feel like you're actually more powerful than my dad? Because, I smiled confidently, I have absolutely no weaknesses. I am covered in impenetrable armor. Naturally, I fear nothing. Soon we returned to campus. Grabbing my iced Americano, I turned to her and waved. All right, everyone go back to their respective homes and mothers. Bye-bye. As Ye Ching Shui watched my retreating figure, she felt an unexpected wave of insecurity wash over her. That night, Ye Da Biao didn't cause any more trouble for Ye Ching Shui, simply telling her to head upstairs and rest. Early the next morning, I was violently shaken awake by Hu Xiaojie. Brother Yi, Ye Ching Shui's dad is waiting for you downstairs. You have to go see him. I let out a massive yawn. That old man is seriously persistent. All right, tell him to wait. I need to go take a dump. Brother Yi. Hu Xiaojie panicked. You have time to poop? He's literally waiting down there for you. Nature calls. I shrugged. He can wait a bit longer. Downstairs, Ye Da Biao had already been waiting for over half an hour. As the chairman of the massive Ye Corporation, his time was incredibly valuable. His secretary stepped forward nervously. Chairman, should I go upstairs and get him? Don't startle him, Ye Da Biao muttered. What if he calls that helicopter and runs away again? Finally, a full 40 minutes later, I casually strolled out of the dorm building. Ye Da Biao's secretary immediately rushed over. Mr. Lin, please come with us. I smirked. What do you want? Trying to kidnap me? Not at all, Mr. Lin. The secretary smiled politely. Chairman Ye would simply like to invite you to a private morning tea. Entering the private dining room, I sat down and got straight to the point. Let's skip the pleasantries. What exactly do you want to say to me? Then I will be direct, Ye Da Biao said sternly. I still want you to leave my daughter. Without another word, he slid a blank check across the table. Write down whatever amount you want. Hearing that, my face lit up instantly. You should have just led with that. I'm a very reasonable man. Who in their right mind would hold a grudge against money? Bring me a pen. A billionaire had literally just handed me a blank check to leave his daughter alone. I was absolutely thrilled. Grabbing the pen, I confidently wrote a massive string of numbers, 9,999,992. Seeing the absurd amount, Ye Da Biao froze completely. Pushing the check back, I looked at him and asked innocently, is this amount okay? I knew Ye Da Biao was wealthy, but there was absolutely no way he was going to fork over $1 billion yuan. Just as Ye Da Biao was struggling to figure out how to respond, I grabbed the check and dramatically ripped it to shreds. Smiling warmly, I said, Mr. Ye, I suddenly realized that acquiring such massive wealth in this manner is incredibly boring. So please stop wasting your time on me. Seeing me tear up the check, Ye Da Biao wasn't angry. In fact, he looked slightly relieved. If I hadn't ripped it up, he would have been backed into a very awkward corner. Young man, Ye Da Biao said coldly, you have just missed an incredibly rare opportunity to become wealthy overnight. I stood up and smiled. Is it possible that, in the future, I might actually have more money than you? I then turned to the waiter. I'll take 4 roasted squabs, 4 portions of sticky rice chicken, and a massive bowl of century-egged and lean pork congee to go, please. Turning back to Ye Da Biao, I added, regardless, I still want to thank Mr. Ye for bringing me to such a high-end restaurant. And let me give you one final piece of unprompted advice. If you want Ye Ching Shui to actually listen to you, you need to show her more genuine care in her daily life. You are a highly successful boss, but as a father, you still have a lot of work to do. Ye Da Biao opened his mouth to argue, but I smiled and cut him off. Don't try to debate me. If you debate me, it just proves I'm right. See ya. After I strolled out of the private room, the secretary couldn't help but ask, Chairman Ye, should I go bring him back? No. Ye Dabiao murmured thoughtfully. The way that kid speaks and carries himself, he's definitely not ordinary. Leave him be for now. Let nature take its course. At 10 a.m., holding the bag of roasted squabs in one hand and the sticky rice chicken in the other, I arrived back on campus. Suddenly, I spotted a beautiful, graceful figure standing near my dorm building. Quietly sneaking up behind her, I asked playfully, Hey, beautiful, waiting for someone? Realizing it was me, Ye Qingxue didn't say a word. She just spun around and kicked me right in the shin. Ouch! What was that for? I yelped. Why didn't you answer my calls? She demanded. Did I buy you that phone for nothing? Sorry. My phone was on silent. I laughed, quickly changing the subject. Wow, you dressed up really nicely today. Going on a date with someone? Ye Qingxue scoffed coldly. Well, I'm certainly not going on a date with you. Hurry up and tell me, what did my dad talk to you about? Putting on a tragic face, I sighed. Your dad wanted me to marry into your family and become a live-in son-in-law, but I bravely refused. Ye Qingxue's eyes went wide. What? A live-in son-in-law? Are you serious? Of course I am, I declared righteously. He even said if I agreed, I would inherit your family's billions. But the catch was that any kids we had would have to take the surname Yi. Could I possibly agree to something so humiliating? Of course you couldn't agree to that. Ye Qingxue nodded in agreement. Exactly, I said. So tell me, if we had a kid, what surname should they take? Obviously, they'd take the surname Lin, she blurted out. See, I knew you'd agree. That's exactly why your dad and I ended up arguing so fiercely. Suddenly realizing she had walked right into another trap, Ye Qingxue's face flushed deeply. She glared at me furiously. Who the hell is having a baby with you? Lunging forward, she grabbed my shirt. Stop making up nonsense. Tell me exactly what you two actually talked about. Hey, broad daylight, stop pulling on me. I laughed, trying to shake her off. It's a bad look. What are you so afraid of? She snapped. I'm about to go on a dating show, I reasoned. I need to maintain my persona as a deeply devoted single man. Ye Qingxue burst into laughter. With your completely oblivious straight man personality, no girl on that show is ever going to like you. I coughed awkwardly. All right, jokes aside. Your dad wanted to give me a blank check to leave you. I refused. A blank check? She asked, surprised. A totally blank check. He told me to write whatever amount I wanted, but I bravely threw it away. I bet you never expected me to view money like mere dirt, did you? I do love money, I clarified seriously, but I value our relationship far more. That single, genuine-sounding sentence instantly made Ye Qingxue blush. What relationship do we have? She asked softly. A deeply profound father-daughter bond. Obviously, I grinned. No amount of money could ever sever it. Ye Qingxue immediately bristled with annoyance. This guy always completely ruined the emotional atmosphere right when things were getting serious. He seriously needed a beating. Just then, she noticed the takeout bags in my hands. What did you buy? Delicious food. Did you specifically bring that back for me? She asked, hopefully smiling. Keep dreaming. This is for my sons upstairs. If you want some, order your own takeout. The next second, Ye Qingxue looked at me with incredibly big, pleading eyes and softly called out, Daddy. That single word instantly short-circuited my brain. I was completely at a loss for how to respond. Right at that terrible moment, Hu Xiaojie and the boys ran downstairs, looking thrilled. Brother Yi, you made it back alive and you brought roasted squab. This put me in an incredibly difficult position. On one side, my loyal brothers. On the other side, the woman. There simply wasn't enough food to go around. As I hesitated, Ye Qingxue sighed softly. Never mind. You should just eat with your roommates. I'm leaving. She turned and started walking away. 1 step, 2 steps. On her 3rd step, I finally called out from behind her. All right, fine. Let's all just go to the cafeteria and eat it together. Ye Qingxue instantly whipped around, a massive smile on her face. I agree. Once we sat down in the cafeteria, Hu Xiaojie spoke up politely. Thank you, Brother Yi. Thanks to you, we get to eat this incredibly delicious sticky rice chicken. I laughed. Don't thank me. Thank her. Ye Qingxue's dad bought all of this. Hearing that, Hu Xiaojie immediately turned to Ye Qingxue and practically bowed. Thank you, sister-in-law. Li Ming instantly followed suit, echoing loudly. Thank you, sister-in-law. Hearing that title, I choked on my food and started coughing violently. Ye Qingxue's face flushed entirely red. Flustered, she quickly stood up. I'm going to go buy you guys some water. As she turned to walk away, she desperately tried to suppress the massive smile spreading across her face. But as she walked further away, the smile became completely uncontrollable. Because my phone had been on silent, I had missed the school goddess's calls. In response, she had run to my dorm building and camped outside for over 4 hours. When I finally returned with breakfast, she immediately kicked me. Ouch. What was that for? Why didn't you answer my calls? Back in the cafeteria, Hu Xiaojie had suddenly called Ye Qingxue's sister-in-law. Hearing it, I had nearly choked to death on my food, and Ye Qingxue had completely blushed. Using the excuse of buying water, she had hastily fled the scene. As she walked away, her smile grew wider and wider. She was clearly incredibly happy with the title. When Ye Qing finally returned with the drinks, I was the only one left sitting at the table. "Where did they go?" she asked, surprised. "They finished eating and ran off," I replied. Ye Qing sat down quietly, resting her chin on her hands, and just stared at me blankly. "What's wrong?" I asked curiously. "Why are you staring at me like that? Just say what's on your mind. Are you really truly going to join that dating show?" she asked softly. I laughed. "Of course I am. Why? Are you planning to join too?" "I have to," she insisted. "With your incredibly dense straight man personality, you're definitely going to get bullied by the other contestants. When nobody wants to pair up with you, I guess I'll have to step in and be your partner." "Hey, that's going way too far," I protested. "With my rugged good looks, I'd be considered a heartthrob in any 8-village radius. The female guests are going to be fighting over me." Ye Qing rolled her eyes. "Stop being so full of yourself." Changing the subject, I asked seriously, "Yi Qing, how long have we known each other?" "Less than 3 days," she replied. "So why are you always so proactive about checking on me? Let me warn you right now, do not catch feelings for me. Otherwise, the only one who's going to get hurt is you." "Let me make something extremely clear to you," Ye Qing said stubbornly. "I only pity you. You're pathetic, so I want to help you. Do you understand?" I smiled. "As long as we're on the same page, so you're really coming on the show with me?" "Of course," she smiled confidently. "If I stayed home and watched you flirt with other girls on TV, I'd feel terrible. But if you come on the show, you'll literally be watching it happen live in front of you," I pointed out. "Wouldn't that feel even worse?" Ye Qing reached out and violently pinched my waist. "Shut up. We'll see who ends up picking up who." 2 days later, I packed my trusty fertilizer sack bright and early. After saying goodbye to Hu Xiaojie and the boys, I prepared to head out for the dating show. Surrounded by cheering fans from Icun University, I climbed into the private car sent by the production team. The moment I sat down, I asked the staff, "Where's Ye Qing?" "Miss Ye departed half an hour ago," the staff member explained. "According to the production team's rules, you two are not allowed to meet right now. And please remember, during the initial filming, you must pretend not to know each other. Otherwise, it ruins the viewing experience for the audience." Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Ye Qing. "Lin Yi, have you left yet? Just got in the car." "You? I'm ahead of you. The filming location this time is Dongshan Island. It's an incredibly beautiful resort island." "A resort island, huh?" I typed back. "Sounds like the perfect place for a date." Ye Qing instantly replied with an angry hitting with a hammer emoji. "Who wants to go on a date with you?" I immediately sent back a sweating nervously emoji. "Don't misunderstand. I didn't mean a date with you specifically." Ye Qing didn't argue back. She simply wrote, "I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. See you at Dongshan Island." "The production team said we have to pretend we don't know each other," I reminded her. "If you want to talk to me, make sure you initiate the conversation first." Ye Qing sent a voice message, her tone annoyed. "Can't you take the initiative and talk to me?" "I don't like taking the initiative," I replied. "I prefer to be passive." Reading my response, Ye Qing furiously grinded her teeth. "Fine, then we'll just have a cold war the entire time. If I speak to you first, I'm a dog." 6 hours later, the car finally pulled up to a massive, luxurious oceanfront villa. Stepping out of the car, I looked up in awe. "Wow, this villa is huge. Is this whole place just for me?" The staff member laughed. "Of course not. All the male and female guests will be living together in this house. It makes it much easier for the sparks of love to ignite." Following the staff's instructions, I headed up to the second floor, where all the male guests would be sharing a communal room. Hopping my fertilizer sack onto an empty bed, I immediately collapsed onto the mattress, planning to take a solid nap. Meanwhile, the moment Ye Qing had arrived at the girls' room earlier, she had instantly felt an overwhelming sense of crisis. There was a girl sitting there in a white dress, and she was absolutely stunning. As a general rule, if a beautiful girl acknowledges another girl as beautiful, it means she is genuinely gorgeous. Whether it was her figure or her facial features, this girl was completely on par with Ye Qing. Looking closely at her, Ye Qing actually saw qualities in the girl that she didn't possess. This made her extremely quiet for the entire afternoon. She couldn't help but wonder if this gorgeous girl was Lin Yi's type. However, while Ye Qing was stressing out over whether I would be charmed by someone else, the utterly clueless, heartless object of her worries was currently fast asleep in his bed. While the other male guests were frantically rehearsing their opening lines, I was sleeping. While the other male guests were putting on sharp suits and tying their silk ties, I was still sleeping. Finally, at 6 p.m., the door to the men's room was suddenly thrown open. With absolutely no warning, the utterly ruthless cameraman burst in and launched a sneak attack. Aside from me, the other male guests were fully prepared. Every single one of them was dressed in a sharp-tailored suit, looking incredibly handsome and energetic. And then there was me, completely dead to the world, drooling on the pillow. Because the production team had heavily promoted the show beforehand, the moment the live stream started, tens of thousands of viewers flooded in. Meaning, I was currently live streaming myself sleeping to tens of thousands of people. In the entire history of dating shows, Live streaming a nap was easily the most explosive opening ever recorded. The chat immediately lost its mind. Holy crap, is this guy still sleeping? The show is starting. All right, I've decided. From now on, his name is Brother Snooze. Seeing how deeply asleep I was, a staff member had no choice but to step forward and forcefully shake me awake. Because my brain had been violently rebooted, I was completely dazed. Blinking my blurry eyes, I mumbled. What time is it? The live stream has already begun, the staff member reminded me. Handsome, it's time to get up and eat dinner with everyone. Hearing that, I quickly sat up, desperately trying to flatten my bird's nest hair. Then, I turned around and started rummaging through my massive stretched fertilizer sack, looking for a clean white t-shirt. The entire visual was so unbelievably absurd that the chat couldn't stop roasting me. Why did Brother Snooze bring a fertilizer sack on a dating show? Is this the newest high-fashion trend? Must be a major luxury brand. It looks like it can hold a lot. Soon, I hurriedly changed my clothes and rushed downstairs. The opening segment of the show was a communal hot pot dinner. The table was rectangular. Normally, standard dating show etiquette dictates that the boys sit on one side and the girls sit on the other. Of course, the production team hadn't strictly enforced this rule. By the time I got downstairs, the guys had already completely filled up one side of the table. Being a highly casual person and seeing the other side empty, I simply walked over and sat down on the girls' side. It not only shocked the guys sitting across from me, but it also instantly earned me the title of the big brain in the chat. This guy is a genius. He just sat right across from them. Does he not realize that side is reserved for the female guests? This is what we call the brave enjoy the world first. Honestly, I think it's a huge turnoff. Girls hate guys with no sense of boundaries. I bet Brother Snooze is going to be the first one eliminated. I wasn't thinking about any of that. To me, a seat was just a seat. You sit where there's space. Suddenly, a thumping, energetic beat began playing from upstairs. Under the highly anticipated gaze of the entire room, the female guests were finally making their entrance. Everyone's eyes shot toward the staircase. A spotlight beamed down, and female guest number 1 appeared. She was wearing an ultra-short skirt, and her fiery figure immediately drew gasps of admiration from the crowd. Click, clack, click, clack. The sound of her high heels echoed as she slowly descended the stairs, every step perfectly synchronized with the beating hearts of the audience. To be completely honest, female guest number 1 was definitely beautiful, but her makeup was incredibly heavy, giving her a slightly unnatural, overly polished look. If I had to rate her, I'd give her a solid 90 out of 100. Female guest number 1 walked over and took a seat 2 spots away from me, enthusiastically waving and greeting everyone. Soon after, it was time for the second female guest. The spotlight flashed, and Ye Ching Shui stepped out. On this dating show, while all the other guys were wearing suits and trying desperately to establish a devoted romantic persona, I had completely abandoned my image and slept like a log in front of tens of thousands of viewers. Waking up late and finding the boys' side full, I had casually sat on the girls' side, but shockingly, this incredibly casual move instantly turned me into the biggest winner of the night. Soon, the female guests began their grand entrance. Accompanied by a driving beat, female guest number 1 walked down in a short skirt. Her incredible figure instantly made the boys across the table stare, just as everyone assumed she was the visual peak of the show. The icy school goddess, Ye Ching Shui, made her entrance. Wearing an elegant flowing black evening gown, Ye Ching Shui's overwhelming aura instantly completely eclipsed female guest number 1. Walking downstairs, Ye Ching Shui didn't hesitate for a single second. She walked right over and sat down directly next to me. Tonight, Ye Ching Shui was fully committed to her high-fashion, icy goddess persona. But the moment she sat down and looked at my messy bird's nest hair, her cold facade almost cracked. What on earth is this guy doing? She thought to herself. How can he look so absurd? Meanwhile, the livestream chat was exploding with hearts. I thought guest number 1 was the absolute ceiling of beauty, but this girl looks like a literal immortal. Brothers, if I could get her as my girlfriend, I'd gladly drive a luxury car and live in a mansion. I'd sacrifice myself. Miss, do you want a Special Forces soldier as a boyfriend? I survived 14 days of mandatory military training. Right after Ye Ching Shui sat down, the final female guest made her appearance. It was the girl who had even made Ye Ching Shui feel threatened, the school goddess of the Yanjing Film Academy's music department, Xia Wang. She was also incredibly popular online. Wearing a simple, elegant white dress, Xia Wang looked exactly like Snow White stepping out of a fairy tale. She seemed slightly nervous, lingering at the top of the stairs for a moment. This gave the audience plenty of time to admire her. Oh my god. Another immortal beauty. This campus dating show is literally a battle of the gods. Guest number 3's first love aura is way too strong. I can't look directly at her. I can't resist her. I can't stop thinking about her. Finally gathering her courage, Xia Wang walked down the stairs and quietly sat down right next to me. She didn't intentionally choose to sit next to me. It was just the only seat left. And just like that, with Ye Ching Shui on my left and Xia Wang on my right, I had instantly become the ultimate winner in life. I turned my head to take a closer look at Xia Wang. Indeed, she had top-tier looks and an incredible figure. Just like Ye Ching Shui, she was a perfect 100-point girlfriend weight. Girl. A perfect 100-point girl. Of course. Xia Wang and Ye Qingxue had completely different auras. Ye Qingxue was a breathtaking, dominant beauty, while Xia Wang was the epitome of pure youthful innocence. Staring at her, I actually made Xia Wang blush. She shyly lowered her head. Right at that moment, I felt an agonizing surge of pain shoot across the top of my foot. I whipped my head around. Yi Xingxue was staring at me with a terrifying, murderous glare. Her sharp stiletto heel was grinding directly into my foot, pressing down harder by the second. In that moment, I felt a bizarre mix of intense pain and strange satisfaction. Guided by the production staff, the guests began their self-introductions. After all the other guys finished, I realized I hadn't remembered a single one of their names. Left with no other choice, I mentally assigned them nicknames. Guest number 1 was clean-cut and pretty, so I called him Butterboy. Guest number 2 was huge and clearly obsessed with the gym, so I called him Muscle Bro. Guest number 3 gave off massive, domineering CEO energy, and since he had made sure to emphasize his VIP status at some airline during his intro, I dubbed him CEO Bro. All 3 of these guys shared one major trait. They were incredibly successful. Opening a company was treated like a casual hobby. When it was finally my turn to introduce myself, I instantly unleashed my inner 2000s edgelord. Using the dramatic tone of a poetry reading, I announced, "Hello everyone, I am Lin Yi. A place without water is called a desert. A place without me is called lonely. Don't ask what I'm made of pure handsomeness. I only allow myself to sleep at 5:20 a.m. I can die from exhaustion, but my heart for you will never go bad. Flowers wither, people fade, but my love will never go bad. Thank you everyone." Having delivered that masterpiece, I sat back down. The entire table was plunged into a suffocating, deeply awkward silence. Everyone lowered their heads, desperately trying to suppress their laughter. Ye Qingshui's face turned completely red from holding it in. This guy is genuinely hilarious, she thought. But this is good. The funnier he is, the less likely any other girl will like him. The second I finished my intro, the livestream chat exploded. Is this the legendary cringe literature? This is way too good. Alright, this brother just voluntarily forfeited his mating rights in the first 5 minutes. I've done many terrible things in my life, but watching this stream just balanced out my karma. Even Xia Wang couldn't stop a small smile from creeping onto her lips. Next, it was time for the hot pot. The host instructed everyone to go mix their dipping sauces. Seizing the opportunity, Butterboy approached Xia Wang and asked proactively, "Hello, need me to help you mix your sauce?" Xia Wang politely declined. "I can do it myself, thank you." Butterboy looked incredibly awkward. He didn't expect Xia Wang's defenses to be so high. Meanwhile, CEO Bro had his sights locked onto Ye Xingxue. Clearing his throat with an authoritative cough, he asked her, "Excuse me, could you pass me the vinegar?" Yi Xingxue replied with absolute freezing coldness. "Do you not have hands?" That single sentence brutally shut CEO Bro down. The high-definition cameras captured every single micro-expression and broadcast it straight to the live stream. Holy crap, guy number 1 got rejected, and guy number 3 got absolutely destroyed. It looks like the prettier the goddess, the harder she is to conquer. Don't worry, it's just the beginning. I'm sure guy number 3 can eventually win Ye Qingxue over. Wait, look, Brother Snooze is making his move. He's approaching the ice goddess Ye Qingxue. What is he doing? I casually strolled over to the recently destroyed CEO Bro. Looking at him, I said slowly, "Bro, when chasing a girl, you can't use interrogative sentences. You have to use imperative sentences." CEO Bro glared at me. "Are you trying to teach me how to do things?" I smiled with absolute confidence. "Watch and learn. I'll only show you this once." Picking up a small bowl, I shoved it directly in front of Ye Qingxue. "Hey, beautiful. 1 spoonful of vinegar, 1 spoonful of soy sauce, 1 spoonful of chopped chili, half a spoonful of oyster sauce. Thank you." Ye Qingxue was utterly speechless. Did this guy really just treat her like a waitress? But then she thought, well, at least he's talking to me and not Xia Wang. As this happened, the chat was flying by at light speed. "This guy is the ultimate average but confident man. Does he actually think the goddess will tolerate that kind of behavior?" Honestly, Brother Snooze is incredibly brave. If I were standing in front of a goddess of Ye Qingshue's level, I wouldn't even be able to lift my head. This is so awkward I'm cringing. I can't look. But to absolutely everyone's profound shock, Ye Qingxue actually reached out and took the small bowl from my hand. She obediently poured in 1 spoonful of vinegar and 1 spoonful of soy sauce. But when she got to the chopped chili, she maliciously scooped in 5 or 6 massive spoonfuls. "All right, beautiful, that's enough." I panicked. "That's way too much chili." Ye Qingxue turned to me smiling brightly. "I am a spicy girl, therefore the sauce I mix is spicy. If you don't like it, I can just throw it away." I smiled back forcefully. "Why wouldn't I like it? Thank you, beautiful." I took the personally mixed sauce from Ye Qingxue, turned around, and walked away with absolute swagger. The entire room was completely dumbfounded. CEO Bro was profoundly shaken. Holy crap, that actually works. Believing he had cracked the code, CEO Bro marched up to Ye Qingxue and commanded in an authoritative tone, "Give me 2 scoops of soy sauce." Hearing that, the smile instantly vanished from Ye Qingshue's face. Staring at him with absolute disdain, she snapped, "Are you a giant infant? Can you not do your own things yourself?" On the dating show, while all the other guys were desperately trying to flatter and serve the female guests, I completely abandoned my image and devoured my food like a starved wolf in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers. Just when everyone was absolutely certain my behavior would disgust all the girls, my completely unfiltered, authentic vibe actually left a great impression on the beautiful Sha Wang. Sitting next to me, she initiated a conversation. "Which university are you from?" "Shushan Ikun University," I answered naturally. Sha Wang smiled. "I've been to your city before, it's very clean." "Not only is the city clean," I replied smoothly, "the people are very clean too." Sha Wang pointed softly. "You have something dirty on your face." "Oh, really?" I asked casually. "Could you wipe it off for me?" The request flowed out so naturally it felt like water flowing down a stream. Hearing my request, Sha Wang froze for exactly 1 second. Then, pulling a wet wipe from her bag, she handed it over. "You should wipe it yourself." "But I can't see where it is," I protested playfully. Suddenly, a freezing cold voice cut through the air from my other side. "Hey, handsome, turn your head this way. I'll wipe it for you." The sheer murderous intent radiating from Ye Xingshui's voice sent a violent chill down my spine. Trembling slightly, I slowly turned my head, forcing a painfully stiff smile. Under the guise of wiping my face, Ye Qingshui viciously pinched my cheek. "Ouch," I hissed, glaring at her. Ye Qingshui smiled flawlessly. "You're very welcome. Please continue eating. Tell me what you'd like, and I'll put it in your bowl for you." This scene completely shattered the minds of everyone watching the stream. I need to ask, why did Ye Qingshui react so aggressively just now? Is she jealous? Can someone please explain to me how Brother Snooze, with his bird's nest hair, managed to attract the goddess? It's all about location, location, location. He's sitting right next to her. After that, Ye Qingshui aggressively began piling food into my bowl, and every single piece of food she gave me was pulled directly from the insanely spicy boiling broth. Combined with the weaponized dipping sauce she had mixed for me earlier, I was instantly dying of spice. Panting heavily, I desperately grabbed a glass of water and chugged it down. "Wait, that's my cup," Ye Qingshui warned. "Ah, sorry, grabbed the wrong one," I gasped. Slamming her cup down, I immediately grabbed the other glass of water next to me and chugged it. This time it was even more awkward. Sha Wang whispered softly, "Classmate, that was my cup." My eyes went wide. "I'm so sorry. I did that on purpose." Sha Wang looked shocked. "What? On purpose? I mean, by accident." "It was an accident." I misspoke. Sha Wang smiled gently. "It's okay, you can drink it. Your lips are completely red from the spice." Ye Qingshui laughed mockingly. "They look like sausages." "Ha!" I glared at Ye Qingshui, complaining, "This is all your fault." Across the table, the other 3 male guests were staring at me with expressions of pure, unadulterated fury. Looking at them, I asked with genuine concern, "Why aren't you 3 eating? Do you not like the food?" That single question was the ultimate critical hit. Right at that moment, the dating host, Fox, stepped out. "All right, everyone, to make things even more exciting, it's time to play a game. The game is Truth or Dare." The livestream chat instantly exploded with hype. "Here we go. The production team is finally starting the drama. Will there be a kissing dare? Bro, you're way too anxious. This is only episode 1. You have to wait for the author to drag out a few more filler episodes before the kissing starts." Fox pulled out a large die. For the first round, Fox pulled out a large die. For the first round, everyone will roll the die. Whoever rolls a 6 gets the right to choose. The chosen person must follow the winner alone into the secret room and cannot refuse. The words "cannot refuse" instantly sent the male contestants into a state of absolute excitement. She was clearly not used to playing these kinds of games. What if she got chosen? Ye Qingshui's expression was equally serious. On one hand, she was terrified I wouldn't choose her. On the other hand, she was terrified of being chosen by someone else. CEO Bro smirked confidently. "I am an expert at rolling dice. Rolling a 6 is child's play." But in the very next second, CEO Bro's confidence shattered. Looking closely at the die, he realized it had 24 sides. At that exact moment, the system's voice echoed in my head. "The host can absorb luck by engaging in physical contact with members of the opposite sex." Hearing that, I was instantly thrilled. The very first person who came to mind was Ye Xingshui. I immediately turned to her and offered my hand. "Come on, let's shake hands with you." "Who are you again?" "Just getting to know each other." "Come on, beautiful, don't be so cold." Ye Qingshui puffed her cheeks angrily. "I don't want to get to know you." It was glaringly obvious that she was still fiercely jealous. This absolute shutdown completely delighted the viewers in the livestream. "Ha! Brother Snooze finally got rejected. See, this is how things are actually supposed to go. Remember the golden rule, boys? The funny guy never gets the girl." I genuinely didn't expect Ye Qingshui to reject me so bluntly. Left with no other choice, I simply turned my head to Sai Wang. "Hello, classmate. Could we shake hands and officially meet?" Sha Wang smiled politely. "Of course." And just like that, Sha Wang and I shared a gentle, fleeting handshake. The very second our hands parted, the system instantly rewarded me with 100 lucky points. A highly satisfied smirk curled on my lips. But this entire exchange was completely burned into Ye Qingshui's eyes and etched into her mind. In the very next second, her voice completely froze over. Ling Yi, come over here and shake my hand. This time it was my turn to reject her. I immediately shook my head. No thanks. Hearing that, Ye Qingshui's tone instantly dropped to a terrifying demonic register. Get over here and shake my hand right now. I am counting to 3. Forced into an absolute corner, I reluctantly reached out and grasped the hand of the icy school goddess. But suddenly a brutal, crushing force clamped down on my knuckles. This wasn't a handshake at all, this was pure, unadulterated torture. However, to everyone else watching, our violent interaction just looked like intense, playful flirting. CEO Bro was glaring at me with eyes full of absolute murderous intent. Soon enough, it was my turn to step up and roll the die. The previous male guests had all failed to roll a 6, which was completely understandable, considering it was a ridiculously difficult 24-sided die. But with the system's absolute blessing surging through my veins,